And I'm live. Well, I'm buggered. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Anybody see me? Anybody hear me?
I can, but I'm only behind you.
Yeah, I know. We've only got one watching according to that.
Is that Holly?
Yeah.
Hello, Holly.
No, it's Danny. We see and hear you. Thank you, Danny. Welcome, mate. 5B5. Thank you, Holly. Oh, we got 3 watching now.
I'll be in a bit.
How are we all this afternoon, anyway? Oh, hello. What's going on with the comments here? Comments. That's the one I wanted up there. Because he got to me done. So how are we all out there in this shit world we're living in at the moment? I've got to admit, it was really nice to turn the head off for a week or two for it. Afternoon, Andy. Hope you're well, mate.
Everybody needs a holiday.
Yeah, it is, Ollie. I mean, I didn't keep up with a lot while I was away. Obviously, that's part of getting away. It's not having to deal with it. But, yeah, for what I came back and started seeing, bugger me. Afternoon, Phil. Welcome, mate. Glad you could join us. As I say, it's only a catch-up today. There's a lot... it's come along the way. Yeah, it does show up my sunburn, though, Holly. I burnt my head on Friday, and my wrists. I had a long sleeve shirt on, but forgot to put my hat on when we were fishing. Thank you, Highbox. Yes, it has done me a world of good. You'll see when I do the fishing videos that my breathing wasn't too good, but that's more or less down to me and smoking. But I did do a lot less wheezing and what have you while I was up there. Obviously, with the seat, not a lot. We didn't exactly catch a lot, but one of the lads up there did. He had an absolute cracker of a day, which will be in the video, just a couple of his fish that were worth mentioning. So if you're watching, Tommy, I know you wrote down the name of the channel. Well done, mate. That was some damn good fish you had there.
Should have let me have the bass.
She wanted the bass. I'm not a sig throw remote. Well done, Holly. Well done. And don't pick them up again, sweetheart. I wish I never did. I really do. It's playing havoc with me breathing now. But mind you, that's probably not just the SIGs, that's other stuff as well. Oh, the missus is on a break from school. She's in the playground.
I've got your homework.
I told her if she just said she's got her homework. If she don't do it, I'll give her a detention.
I was trying to work out how to get physical punishment. He says I've got to finish it all.
So. Oh, I'll give you physical punishment later on. Don't you worry. Only 9 in. I thought we'd have more than that today, but hey. Let's pouch of baby food.
As long as you keep something down.
Yeah, it's... I mean, a lot of people... I still like a rusk with butter on. Don't often have them, but...
Farley's rusk. They haven't got the sugar in anymore. They were
but you got calories. Even that now, you got to be careful with everything, with all this new sweetness scare, isn't it? Cancer.
Yeah, but you've got to have 14 cans a day.
Yeah, well, how many cans of Go Juice did I used to drink?
That's got sugar in.
No, not most of it. Cocaine, not the coke.
You didn't do diet drinks. It's diet drinks, Eric. And most people don't get through 14.
Hi, Tiff.
Hello, Tiff.
A marble chopping board. To be honest, plastic ones are just as good as long as you keep them clean and wipe a bit of washing up liquid on them afterwards. Leave an antibacterial surface, but they've all got anti-bac built into them. Yeah, I drink the Coke Zero, Holly, so it's got sweeteners. I mean, to be honest, we've got a big, thick... Oh, the bloody camera's frozen already. Right, okay.
You look quite nice holding your glasses up.
Let's go to that one then. So I was just trying that other camera again to see, but it keeps freezing, so that's the one that can go. I've already got a replacement for it that Dan gave me, so... Stuart, good afternoon, buddy. The Coke is a drain cleaner. Yeah, it does well for chrome as well, actually.
Makes pennies go really shiny.
Hello. Where's that going now? I quite often used to use it on the bikes and that for clearing the chrome parts.
I don't know what he thinks it does to his body.
Yeah, no plastic ones or glass ones. Glass ones don't do your knives a lot of good, Tiff. Neither does the marble. Evening, Para. Sarah, good afternoon, my dear. Yeah, the one we got is it's about 1 inch thick. It's a bamboo one, quite a big one.
Argus.
Argus. It's great for when you're stamping leather, when you're doing belts and pouches and knife sheaths and things.
Which is why it's got leather dye on it.
Yeah, it's got some leather dye on it. Yeah. Well, I had a bit of an accident. That's all right. Call it food colouring. Yes, you must shop at Argus. Ollie. Not Argus, Argus. Sounds a lot better.
How many years ago was that? 10, 20
I
years?
don't know, it was on the advertising, wasn't it? They actually advertised it like that.
I'm buying at Argus.
Fucking weirdos.
Designer.
I have sharpeners. Shouldn't use a sharpener on your kitchen knives.
It's the one that
stone to put the fine edge on and a steel to keep it on.
It's the one the knife set came with. So if it buggers the knives, you can throw them back.
Oh, do you know what? I just forgot. I haven't put the fucking StreamYard link in.
Oh, that'll be why nobody's popping in to say hi.
Oh, now why ain't it lighting up blue? Right. Emoji. Copy. And not only that, I'm still in fucking top chat, not live chat. Oh dear, here we go. I've only been back fucking 5 minutes.
That's what happens when you have a holiday.
Ah, there we go. Live chat, and there's the StreamYard link. Oh, for crying out. I'll tell you what, this camera's the worst one for showing up a sunburn. Look at that. Ah, here now. But no, we did have a real nice time up there. It was, yeah, exactly, Ollie. It was quite windy most of the time. The fishing was hard going. It was big spring tides last week as well, which didn't help. And we had a couple of storms as well. But I think we did a night session on the Monday. I did film it, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to use the footage. It's absolutely shite. The lighting I took didn't work. Didn't project the light far enough, and all you got is mumbling in the background in the dark. So, plus we didn't catch anything. But we did Wednesday daytime, Was it Wednesday?
Oh, I don't know.
Wednesday, and then
we had
Thursday off, and then we did Friday and Saturday straight off the bat. The first weekend, we had some friends of ours turn up. As you know, they were invited over for the weekend and had a brilliant time with them. Obviously, that was well worth giving the fishing a go. Miss for.
Holly will love the name of the calf.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. I don't think I've put them on the computer yet, but we might save that for. No, I haven't put them on there, but I might be able to show you on here. We actually, when my mate was up for the weekend, we actually went for breakfast. Now, we'd seen this little place many times, never bothered been in there, called the Fairy Emporium. Yeah. Now, it looks like a pokey little place from the outside, but once you get in, it's on about 3 or 4 levels and a yard out the back. Unfortunately, you do have to sit in little coves like that, all done out with lace and curtains, like a little fairyland. And that's my mate sat there as well. But they use it all the time for the bike rallies up there and the rock gig that they go to. So we went in, and I'll tell you what, it was one hell of a breakfast. I don't normally eat a cooked breakfast while I'm away, but that one's well worth going back for next year. Good afternoon, Tony. Fairy, yes, Sarah, it is actually called the Fairy Emporium. Yeah, you can look it up. It's in Silloth in Cumbria. But yeah, cracking breakfast. Yeah, he's all right, Stuart. He may pop in here in a bit, and he may be doing his own little stream later on. Haven't heard back on that one yet, but he may pop in. Jason, good afternoon, mate. Yeah, fairies. I've walked past it every year when we go up there, and I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
That's where girls go for cake.
But yeah, I was quite surprised, and the staff were very good. Very good. Bit expensive, but you'd expect that by the coast. But yeah, we had a 2-bedroom cottage. As I've said before, I showed the pictures on the last live. I think we were literally only about 50 yards from the beach where we can fish. And looking back now to the hotel we stayed in Liverpool, the cottage, 2-bedroom, full cooking facilities, bath, shower, the lot in there, came in at nearly 50 quid a night cheaper than the bloody hotel in Liverpool.
30.
Well, what was the hotel?
No. Never mind mate rate. 30.
All right, 30. I'm just saying what we paid. Jesus. I want an oyster fry now. Yeah, but it's a nice area. It's not very busy. Usually quiet. Even the beaches are quiet there usually. And it's just a nice getaway. Yeah, it's a 4-hour drive, but
did it in 3.5.
And then for those that haven't seen the video, I did have a prang on the way back on the motorway, but nothing major. There was a fire on the side of the road, and I ran into a back of a 4x4. Literally just not paying attention. My fault totally. I had to put my hands up. But Oh, and we did have one nice thunderstorm that I got up and tried to film at 2:30 in the morning, and that didn't go very well either. For some reason, I was using my phone, and I probably got the wrong settings on it or something. It just wouldn't pick it up. But yeah, it weren't bad, Sarah. I used tow ball. It was a 4x4 pickup. So I've got a tow ball sized hole in the front bumper, but I managed to take it a little bit off square just so it didn't hit the radiator or anything important. But the guy was very good. I got it on dash cam, shook his hand, no damage to his motor. I apologised. We left all hunky dory. It's a shame a lot of little bumps like that don't end that way. People belting the crap out of each other on the side of the road. It was my fault. Hands up. Sorry, bud. What else could I say? But even with that, we did dodge quite a bullet because I looked up what was going on because there was a lot of police activity on the motorway up there that day, which we couldn't explain. But yeah, they blocked the road off, blocked the whole motorway from about 11 o'clock in the morning till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we dodged that. We got through the smoke before they got there. And apparently they shut it both ways as well, which I was quite surprised at. Yeah, I could put LEDs in them, couldn't I? Put some moving LEDs inside little plastic bubbles. So who else we got in the house then? Come on then, people. There's more in the room than there is in the chat. I can see the numbers up there.
We've got
mind you,
Jason.
We got the ones that lurk in the background there, haven't we?
No.
Forgot all about them. Brian, good afternoon, buddy.
Welcome. Brian? The fact that Brian's just come in, does that make him a lurker?
Brian does a lot of lurking. Just lurkers, yeah. I mean, I used to do it, I got to admit, but I just hang around just watching streams and that, but I just don't bother anymore.
Tony's been lurking.
But no, I just do my own thing now. Your car is blessed. It's very holy. Yeah, it's not the first one either, Murph. Couple of weeks back, nobody had hit it or anything. There's no dents, but I noticed what looked like a crack in the paint. And after going round it with a magnet, it seems that there's been a bit of a repair there with a load of filler. I've got to admit, it was a very good repair. I mean, I couldn't spot it through the paintwork or anything, which you normally can. But
maybe it was done in the factory.
No, it wouldn't have been done in the factory. They filled theirs with lead. I know that. We used to do it at the MGs. There's many a brand new MG went off that production line with lead filling dents in it.
And it's not quite holy, Murph, because it looks more like the socket in a skull. That's why I said we need one the other side.
Maybe we get Crinkle to send us one of his glass eyes. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, somebody give Crinkle a slap around the back of the head. I want his glass eye to fit in the eye socket in the bumper.
No.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's only Friday afternoon. I've got a whole weekend like this. Well, I haven't, but because as you can see, the fishing tackle is still in the living room behind me.
Well, I can't really
I was
see.
going to start moving it out into the shed today, but it's absolutely pissing with rain and has been since I got up. And I won't put the rods in there unless they're in the tube, which is currently bolted to the roof of the car, which I can't go out and get off because it's pissing with rain. So they stay where they are for now. But we've got most of the other unpacking done. But, anyway, yeah, some of this shit that's been going on since we've been away. I mean, obviously you got this, the MP's wage thing, what they earn outside of Parliament now going on. You know, and the public sector pay rises that have been offered. Now, I did look into what they were saying about that. And basically what he said was they're going to charge the legal immigrants extra tax and extra money for healthcare, and this is going to pay for the public sector pay rises. Bullshit. It's going to get nowhere near it. It's not even going to touch the fucking surface.
What money do the illegal immigrants have? It's only the money that we give them.
No, the legal ones that come in.
Oh, right.
They have to pay a certain amount when they come in towards their health care and what have you, and fees to actually come over. But what they're going to do is they're going to charge them more to allegedly cover the pay rises in the public sector. That's what Roland Rat said in his little speech the other day.
Yeah, it's all bullshit anyway. I mean, you know, just for this immigration bill that he was putting through, he's had to give amnesty to 10,000 illegals just to try and get it through the Lords. And the Lords have put 20 clauses on it, and they're just playing ping pong with it.
They've rejected it 23 times.
Yeah, it's just ping pong now, and it's not going to happen. This is just things like the EU thing that went on. It was just a total distraction because while they were everyone was talking, the world was talking about you gave amnesty to 10,000 illegals. Yeah,
well, they said that before because they gave a load out, didn't they?
Yeah,
to try and clear them. I mean, it's just not going to work because
it's crazy stuff. Crazy, you know what I mean? Absolutely.
The only reason they're doing that is so they can give them permanent housing.
Yeah, well, that's all they're doing now. They're building housing and we're going to put Afghans and Ukrainians into the houses. Oh, really? That's going to be a nice, interesting demographic.
Yeah, I think that's why they're doing that, is so they can put them in permanent housing, which again is going to cost us.
Yes.
You know, is this the reason that they're putting up the interest rate again to force mortgage owners out of their houses so they can be repossessed?
Well, I mean, you know, the thing is, if America doesn't make its repayment on its debt this month, there's likely to be a monumental crash of the housing and a bubble on the because they control so much debt, and Britain has been selling off its American debt. That you can buy American debt in packages, and Britain has been getting rid of it like it's going out of fashion. So they know there's something coming. Yeah. They know there's something definitely coming. And so for them to sell it, and there were about 20 countries that all started selling American debt last week. And they're all selling off their American debt because they know that America is going to tank on its loans. When they do, that's going to create a world.
Backing their cash up with gold now as well.
Yeah. And not only that, but they're no longer, it used to be stored in London and places like that. They're now saying, no, we want it with us. Yep. So there's all kinds of shit going on in that respect. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, I can tell you.
Well, the thing is that they're spending so much bloody time investigating themselves, and
that's all a distraction.
Yeah,
that's all a distraction. You know,
I mean, you look at now, like India. Okay, they've just had some bad floods, crying out for aid. Yet today they launched a fucking space rocket to the moon, costing how many millions and billions?
Not only that, but Modi, the Indian premier, spent a few days with Putin the other day in Russia, and they're buying the cheap gas, and they're funding Russia in its war efforts. And today he's in Paris with Macron for Bastille Day.
All right, Berlin. Yep. And
Yeah, that's India. India are no friend of the West, I can tell you that.
the amount of money they've been sending to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to let them in NATO, especially while they're already in conflict. They'll be lucky.
Well, the reason why they can't turn around and the reason why they don't want to let Ukraine in NATO is because Russia hasn't officially declared war.
No.
And if they did, they'd pretty much wipe out Ukraine in one easy thing. They've just said it's a special operation. And while they're turning around and saying it's a special operation, if the NATO said to Ukraine, you can come in, it's likely that Russia would then turn around and go, well, this is now an act of war. And that would then trigger World War III. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem you've got there. So that's why they can't allow, because I mean, it's strategically good to have Ukraine in, because Ukraine has got factories there that build rockets. And I mean, rockets are going to the moon and ballistic rockets. They've got tank companies there. Germany is just committed to building a new tank company down in Ukraine, in the south of Ukraine. So Ukraine is actually
build all of Russia's weapons for them and their arms.
That's what I mean. They've got a very high population of very educated people. You know,
you got a country the size of that producing the weapons, making billions probably from it as well, and then turn around and asking us for help when they get into a scrap. You know?
Yeah, crazy. You know,
but Pat's okay, Berlin. He's absolutely fine, mate.
But you had a good holiday anyway. That's the main thing.
Yeah, like I said, not a lot of fish, but we did see a lot of fish, but unfortunately not ours. But no, we had a good time. And as I used to, we talked to passers-by there. They stop and chat and that. And they said, oh, you don't seem to be catching anything. I said, well, I ain't too worried. I'm sat here on a nice day with the missus next to me. We're both having fun. What more do you want? You know? And
more wine.
The sunburn was another thing, but it was.
At least you had the weather. You know, did you have good weather all the time, or was it still a bit of rain? Or what?
It was reasonably nice, but up there, it's up the estuary there. It's always windy, very windy. I mean, they've got a massive bloody wind farm just off the coast of Scotland, the other side.
All right.
And it's absolutely huge. So it's going to be windy. But unfortunately, we picked the week when it was also the spring tides, which aren't conclusive with a lot of good fishing, to be honest.
Yeah.
We had a couple of rain showers, but I always put the shelter up to cover the camera anyway.
Yeah.
And we just put the deck chairs under there.
It wasn't too hot either, which was really nice.
Yeah, there was one day when it was warm, and that was when I got burnt, and I didn't realise, wasn't it?
Right.
I had my hat on all the week while it was windy to stop the wind burn across my forehead and that.
Yeah, I know you went. Yeah, I have similar problems. I have similar issues.
The day I take it off, the sun comes out, and I'm sat there in the evening. I think my fucking head itches, and I'm getting flakes of skin coming off. And then I look down, and from there down was burnt because I had my long sleeve shirt.
Don't go out in the sun and play anymore.
What's this? What's going on here in the chat? Okay,
well, we're into the summer here now. So, I mean, today it was 45 degrees C.
Oh, hang on.
So,
Stitch. Hi, sweetheart. Are you okay now? Sorry, Murph.
Carry on, mate. Stitch in. Hi, Stitch. Stitch has been keeping me company on my live streams.
I did try and get on one of them last week. I managed to get on Pap on Sunday, but I only had the laptop, and we had a couple of
Yeah.
power outages while we were up there as well. And the wife.
Oh, don't worry. I mean, the key thing about my live streams is there's always technical issues. So it'll either last for 6 hours. I think that's the best, and then suddenly it'll just chop after 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Sarah. But you're saying this now. Greece, Spain, Italy are getting too hot at the mo again. Now, you look at all the reports on that. Oh, the Acropolis is a dangerous place to be because it's too hot. And there's fucking thousands of them queuing to go up there. You know, if it's that hot, you stay in. You don't go and stand in a bloody queue, do you, on the top of a hill?
I was on Twitter this morning, and someone was going on about this, the news reports, and someone came on and went, "Well, look, I live in the UK. I've just rang my family in Italy. They're all saying it's slightly cooler than last year."
I used to go to Sicily, and regularly over there, it'd be up near the 40s every time.
It's just a never-ending bullshit that comes out now in the news. It's just non-stop. I normally watch the Sky News press preview every day, and one day this week they spent 20 minutes talking about you and about what was going on at the BBC. They didn't talk about anything else.
No.
And it's like, what did I just watch? Why wasn't I watching this? You know, because I try and see what's
everything today is this bloody what the MPs are getting paid outside the job. You know.
Yeah.
It's
that's
all right, Stitch. You take your time, sweetheart. If you're up to staying on, you stay on. If you need to rest, you rest, darling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Jason. It's they again. Smoke and mirrors, like they're going on. There was, what did they report? 3 people died in Italy in the heat. Half a dozen died in the floods in India or wherever it was. Several people been stabbed over here. Not a fucking word about the 2,500 that are dying every week for unknown causes.
Yeah.
And now they've given a yellow warning for Guillain-Barré syndrome because there's been a few cases of that popped up. Well, yeah, a few cases of that pop up every year. But the last time we had a big break in that, when that broke out, was back in 76, when they gave everybody Pandemrix, or those that wanted to take it, for the swine flu. That was the last time there was a big outbreak of Guillain-Barré syndrome. I did a couple of videos on it a couple of years ago, the whole history of that. Yeah, they're not saying anything about that.
No.
You know,
they were quick to report the 2 people coming down with bird flu today.
Yeah.
You know, the next pandemic, you can't go into the country. You know, the Richard Vobes.
Oh, they're already trying to put this in place with this bloody WHO treaty, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, literally, it was 2000 for me. Yeah. Yeah, it's so much that is going on that is important to us as a country, not just as an individual, but as a country, that they're saying fuck all about. And that's the news we need to hear. You know,
it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm seeing the.
Yes, Sarah, so much unreported. Exactly.
I've seen the British values just being stripped away day by day, you know?
Yeah, I remember it, Sarah. I was just into my teens then, young teens, and I can remember the hoo-ha about it, but I quickly forgot about it until what happened over the last couple of years here. Obi, good afternoon, mate. And that was just after I started to my YouTube channel. I thought, no, and it came to my mind, and I'm going to go back and research on that and see if what I remembered was right. So I did the one. It was the story of one of the nurses that contracted it, right from the start of the outbreak to what she's going through now. And then I did the history of it, the actual thing itself after that, you know. And it was frightening. It was frightening. And funny enough, I hadn't remembered it until after it all happened here as well. In what was it, 2021. And it didn't even cross my mind until I connected the two. But 1967. What? Somebody. I remember. Oh, yeah, that was the second lot, but that didn't come to nothing. But yeah, I can go back and remember all of them. See, I don't always remember the details, but with the wonders of the internet now, I can go and look it up.
Well, I mean, they come up with some kind of thing every few years with mad cow's disease. You know, you had to kill every cow in the woods. You know, you had that kind of thing. Then you had bird flu coming out,
And then
and bird flu has never gone away.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just
another one. Foot in mouth.
Foot and mouth. That was the other one. You know,
and there was the anthrax scare as well, wasn't there?
That's right.
I remember that one because that was probably one of
the Legionella.
Yeah, the anthrax one I remember particularly because I was up the farm where we had our yard and we were helping the manager burn all the carcasses. You know, the vet come along and knocked them over and we had to burn them all.
I mean, the lockdown was the first time I've ever seen it where they actually engineered the situation to suit themselves. Before they would tell you, right, okay, you've got to take precautions, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do this and that. But this time round, they actually engineered the situation to suit their own interests, and I couldn't believe that they actually escalated it up. And that's pure WEF playbook, you know what I mean?
Tiffany's saying there's a high-pitched whine. I'm not using headphones, Tiff, but hang on, let me see if I can make a difference here on this. Where have I got to go to? That one. Because my microphone has a horrible habit of resetting its levels. Right, does that sound any better, Tiff? Does that stop the whine? Sorry if I'm not reading the comments, people.
It might be me because I've got the AC on.
Yeah.
It might be me because I've got the AC on. I can come off if it's annoying. Just let me know, you know.
To be honest, mate, there's certain pitches I for some reason tone out. It's usually the pitch of Heather's voice, but I shouldn't say that really, being she sat behind me.
No, you've got shoes thrown at you.
No, it's definitely Roger. Oh, okay. What have I got that's whining?
I can't hear anything in the room.
My computer's fan's going, but that's not a...
No, I mean, I've got a big AC unit. I mean, it's 45 degrees C here. It's bloody hot. So if you don't have the AC on, you're a dead man walking, you know.
Well, so mute your mic a minute, Murph.
Yeah.
And I'll talk over. Can you still hear it now, Tiff, as I'm talking? It's like a very high-pitched siren. That could be my teeth. It's Roger. Sometimes in the background, noise level like something underwater. Okay.
Not a clue.
I haven't got a clue what that is. Maybe if I bring the mic down. Is that any better now? Or have I still got to reset my settings? Because I shouldn't need the pickup as high with the microphone that close. Control panel. That's still on. Recording, microphone, properties, levels. How's that? Is that any better? Brian says he can't hear at his end. Trouble is, I've got limited settings on here. I can't hear it. iBox. It's gone, whatever it was. Okay, that might be me then, where I've just changed the settings. Am I still coming through clear? It's like an alternating pitch.
Right, my mic is back on.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
See if it comes through on me.
Some are saying they could hear it. Some are saying they couldn't. No, it's still there. Yep, that does.
Glad it's not me that just has technical issues then.
No, I do get them. It's lower now, but it's still there.
I'm looking forward to just doing one complete live stream and then saying goodbye. Normally I just talk in mid-talk and it's cut.
I've got nothing.
You've got nothing. Okay. Obi can hear it as well. This is fucking weird. What the hell can this be? I've got nothing on the table whining.
I can hear your teeth.
Yeah, I've always whistled through my teeth. Brian's saying, are you lot fucking winding me up because he can't hear it?
No, I can't hear it either, Brian.
Sounds like a LED blinking.
I can't hear anything in the room, and I can't hear anything on the phone. I've got the speaker right next to my ear.
Bulldog said he's not getting it either. But there shouldn't be anything there. I've got no cables crossed or anything. Well, tied in knots. There are some that are crossed.
I've never heard an LED blink.
It-
Sorry, Hollow.
No, they go.
You're a resistant.
An LED is never permanently on, it flashes. Yeah, I've been trying, Ollie. I don't know. There's nothing else literally on the table or anything that could be doing it. I've got nothing else turned on. Nothing else is connected.
I mean, the fan's running here, but it's a heavy sound. It's not a high pitch. You know what I mean?
That's probably my breathing.
Definitely mine. I've started using the wireless lav, so I had the wireless lav on my thing, and I sounded like bloody Darth Vader.
I reckon Ollie's having a laugh now. It's blinking at the speed of an LED.
Yeah. I was listening back to one of them. I went, bloody hell, I sound like Darth Vader here.
Well, actually, the only thing that could, woo, bloody hell, nearly pulled my shoulders
Yep, so
down.
I've changed the mic now. I'm now no more wireless mics. Well, still the wireless.
That's what I'm just thinking. I've got the LED that flashes on the phantom power supply.
Right.
I'm just checking the leads in the back
And
of
that tells you if you're peaking, does it? Or clipping?
I don't know what it is. I've never heard anybody say it before.
No.
Anyway,
It's like an old
unfortunately,
coil
I
line.
think you're going to have to move on.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave that where it is. And if you're using headphones, take them off and turn your speakers on.
Yeah.
I mean, I try not to use them, but yeah, moving on. So, EV owners, anybody out there in the chat got an EV? And I mean a full EV, not a hybrid. Anybody out there? Background sound. I can hear you fine. Thank you, Stuart.
I reckon with these new with these new charging points, it costs more to actually recharge your EV than it does to actually fill up with diesel.
Well, that's the one that I looked at was the one, I can't remember who put it out now. I did see a piece on it about the price of repairs after they've had an accident.
Well, not only that, but the government directive is that EV cars in for repair have to be 15 meters apart, or 15 feet apart from each other, in case they explode. So
you look at the not the price of that, the accident statistics. They are more likely, 25% more likely to be written off in an accident.
Yeah.
Not the cost of the repair, but the amount of work involved, because they have to go through every wire to make sure there's no breaks or anything like that.
That's
Afternoon,
another big
Rob.
scam they sent us, you know. And they're still proceeding with that. They don't want any petrol or diesel cars by 2030.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
Dr. Kersey now, is it? Good afternoon, Kersey. I could call myself a doctor, couldn't I? Doctor Who? What? Doctor what? Yeah. Doctor when? Go
Why?
Who's just been doing a great? Do you know the MacMaster at all? His channel. He's been doing a lot of shouting about his Porsche Cayenne or whatever it is, his electric Porsche Cayenne. And he did one the other day where he reckons that he's lost nearly £70,000 in 1 year on the car.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Kersey, the YouTube thing changed my name. Yeah, it changed it around and assigned a number to it, basically. They're doing it to everybody.
Yeah, I'm
It's easier for them
Paris in
to
the
do
Philippines,
tabs on us.
4816 or something, you know.
I'm generally a doctor in plant biology. Yep, I've got nothing against plants whatsoever. Take from that what you will.
Well, a lot of
I'm an
companies,
expert in plant-based meat.
plant-based meat. No, thank you.
Yeah, pigs, cows all eat grass, don't they? Plant-based meat.
Plant-based meat.
If all these vegetabilists are so worried about it actually being meat, why do they sell it and make it to look like meat? And can you imagine a male vegan trying to have a piss? Oh, I ain't touching that meat. Now we know who sprays it all around the fucking seats.
Well, because it's Islam over here, you get turkey bacon and beef bacon. And I'm going, why are you calling it bacon? It's not. It doesn't taste like bacon, doesn't? But you want it to look like bacon, and you think that it's going to taste like bacon, and it doesn't bloody taste like bacon. So why are you calling it bacon?
Exactly.
And it is turkey bacon. You get turkey sausages, you know. It's like,
I want real meat.
Done. So we paid through the nose to get bacon here, but I had a lovely bacon and mushroom bat this morning. Proper greasy fry up, you know, bacon, mushroom, and an egg. I enjoyed it.
I didn't know quite what I was expecting in the Fairy Emporium, but that was a good meat platter they put on my breakfast. I gave away my tomatoes and my mushrooms and everything else, but the meat. Vegetalist mentalist. Yes, Danny. Yes, they are, Stuart. And I think it just makes it a bit easier for their algorithms. And like I say, easier to track what we're doing. We know they do it. They say they don't, but we know they do. Same as the government say they don't track us, but they do.
Well, they do, yeah.
A good bit of meat. I thought you had enough last week on bloody holiday, woman. It's only once a year I get 3 date nights in a week, you know what I mean?
Too much information.
And I'm not talking around the promenade or anything either, you know. Holly's saying nothing.
Yeah.
But hands up, I got to admit, she beat me hands down this year. She had the best fish of the week between us two. I had the most, if you can't count little things that look like no bigger than a bloody tea bag. But
Yeah, I think you got the smallest and I got the largest.
I got the smallest, you got the biggest. Yeah.
But I won something.
Yeah.
Even if it's only your heart.
Oh, you always got my heart. I've got to go and have a drink now. I'm losing that much liquid crying over that.
Tiff, the only vegetarian I know is my sister-in-law, and I wouldn't even try. She's too sharp. But yes, I'm with you. it would be lovely telling somebody it was meat free. And it
Yeah,
wasn't.
Mr. W, I know. It's I've actually got I've done this thing now where if I see the YouTube and they start cooking up vegetarian food, a YouTube channel, like, bang, that's it. I do not even look at it. That's it. Bye bye.
Can you imagine how boring a vegetarian or a vegan would be on date night?
Oh, bloody hell.
Afternoon, Gypsy.
My problem with you is you don't eat most vegetables anyway.
No, I don't like vegetables. Anything with green stuff growing around it, I don't go near.
I love the veg. I do love the veg. Over the years, I've noticed that I have a big bloody steak and some veg. Now I have lots of veg and a small steak. It's
Well, to be honest,
Better for you.
I very, very rarely eat steak. One, because it's a bitch to chew with my false chops.
Yep.
But no, my top meat would probably be mince or bacon. To be honest, bacon.
I mean, the primary diet out here is chicken. Everything is chicken. Chicken this, chicken that, chicken bloody everything. You know what I mean? And so every now and again, it's nice to get a steak or a pork chop, or you can't get decent lamb chops here at all.
I mean, a lot of the meat we do eat, it's not proper processed stuff. We do go to a proper butcher's. Point in fact that we do a 4-hour drive just so she can buy some Cumberland sausage that's made in fucking Wolverhampton.
Yep.
4 hours each way.
4 hours each way, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, Ray. I've got that name on the bloody brain. What's the butcher's? Wayne. He couldn't get a butcher's round for his van down here. So he goes around up north and he travels up there and does several markets and what have you, and then comes back.
But it is a traditional Cumberland sausage.
Yeah, it's traditional
recipe.
Cumberland sausage.
It's a traditional recipe that he got when he bought the land, and he's brought that recipe back here for production, so it goes straight from the producer into his van.
Yeah. And he goes to the boot sale every Sunday in the town where we go fishing, so we always make a point of going and seeing him, buying a load of sausage and other meats. And then she'll stand and have a chat with him while I wander around the boot sale, see if there's any fishing tackle or anything interesting.
Tells me all the gossip on where I used to work.
Yeah, because he still deals with the accountant she used to work for. Yeah, she gets all the gossip on that, but we won't say anything about that on here because that is class confidential information, really.
That's not gossip.
I don't care. Get me into trouble. You're not the one that will get in this shit.
No, it's gossip. So, not that I'd put it out there anyway, because nobody knows it, but it is hearsay. It's not fact. I'm going back upstairs now.
Yeah.
I might come on.
Go back to school. She's actually on a course. Nothing wrong with liver, Stuart, as long as it's cooked properly.
Yeah, love liver. Liver and kidneys.
Liver in the freezer.
Not with ice cream, though.
Oh, the same.
Oh, Christ, now I've moved my microphone pole. Can't get my can out. Yeah, we got several round here, Tiff. But they are far and few between now. We haven't actually got one up in the town anymore. He went a long time ago, but mind you, I had a look up there before we went away, and the town centre's fucking dying anyway. But
all over the UK now, it's completely dead. You've got a couple of charity shops and nothing else.
Yeah, well,
the landlords are still charging high rates.
But we've got 3 mile one way. We've got the big Asda, and it is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
With a few more different ones around there, B&M and what have you as well. And then a mile and a bit the other way, we've got Princess Alice Park, which you've got an absolutely huge Tesco's, there's Poundland, there's all sorts of shops there. So, you know, people will drive up into the town, nowhere to bloody park or extortionate parking. So
Yep.
they'll drive the other couple of miles and go today.
But what if they want to bring in the 15-minute city? How are you going to do that? You know?
Yeah. I mean, the little places we saw when we go on holiday, we always offer up cash.
Yeah.
First thing we do when we buy anything up there is offer up cash. But the one I've got to give a wave to, I don't know whether he's watching, Ray. He's the guy that does the shrimping in the estuary up there. He's got a
All right.
And the poor sod, he hasn't been able to do a thing for weeks. He had the heat wave come in, that killed it. Then he had the storms come in, that killed it. Then he had swarms and swarms of jellyfish coming in. They couldn't get through them. Just as he's finally ready to go out, the spring tides hit. So he's had no stock at all for weeks. All he's got is potted shrimp. And he's really struggling. And that's literally because of the weather more than anything. But yes, Jason, when we had a butcher's in each town, you know, my mother certainly knew the local butcher. She used to order for him for work as well, because she used to work at a private school. She used to run the kitchens. But yeah, every town had one. Everybody used to be on first name terms. Even most of the villages where I come from had a butcher. If it didn't, you went and saw the local farmer. On occasions, you didn't actually go and see the farmer, but you still stocked your freezer. But that's another story.
Well, you know what I mean? And this is the thing. They got rid of the butchers in the high street and brought out the farmers' markets. I come to the farmers' market where you pay 3 times the bloody price for half the quality.
Yep. And did you know, not a lot of people know this, from vegetables to potatoes, any edible crop, when a farmer has finished harvesting, you can legally go in and pick up anything he's missed.
Yeah.
Vegetables, everything. It used to be, I don't know whether it's still in place, but there used to be a certain amount, they had to leave it for a day and a quarter or so many hours for the peasants to go and pick up what they missed before they replowed or reseeded a field. Roadkill, yeah. Nothing going wrong with a roadkill curry, Jason. An hedgehog doesn't taste like chicken. It's kind of really bland, to be honest.
I've had hedgehog, I've had worm omelets and rats and things like that. That's part of the army training that they did, you know what I mean? But the hedgehog I've never had. Too spiky.
Yeah, you know, at my age, I've seen the way the country's changed, and I don't like what it's changed to. Far from it. Yeah, you know, a lot of it was for convenience, and it was convenient at the time. But now it's just gone mental. It's stupid.
Well, the key thing, when you used to buy from your farmer, you knew the provenance of the food that you were buying. So you knew whether the veg, you'd seen the field that they were growing in, you saw the cows that he was killing, you knew where the milk was coming from, you had the provenance.
Well, after bloody beef I used to eat, I knew the cow personally for most of its life.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You know, but now you go into Tesco's and that beef might have been sitting in a freezer for 3 years before it goes out on the bloody shelf.
There we go. Sarah's put there. What's the strangest thing you've eaten? Dare I answer that on case I might incriminate myself?
I was just thinking the same myself. I'm not going down that road. I am not going into that. You know?
Yeah, on survival courses, Sarah, as you know, you're ex-service yourself. Yeah, you do eat some very strange things. I've eaten rat, bulrush roots, all sorts of things like that. I will say I have eaten insects. We did do the worm omelette thing. Obviously, there's a lot of vitamins in worms. Crocodile, kangaroo, that sort of thing. Yeah, we used to get that in the Aussie restaurant.
Ostrich, done.
Striped worms, yeah. I've never. My mate did try a witchetty grub, and I didn't. No. When I saw the face he pulled, I thought, yeah, I would have to be in a starvation situation before I even.
No, I've done the witchy grub, and I've been in Thailand, and they've got a lot of the crickets and everything else there, and that, and I've eaten that.
Cricket on a stick.
I think it was the strangest one I ever had. That Thailand, they've got this thing called jumping shrimp. It's a salad. It's called jumping shrimp, and the shrimp are actually alive.
They're alive, yeah.
And they're jumping out of the pot. Yeah, they're jumping out of the pot as you're eating them, and that was a bit weird. I must admit, chasing the bloody thing around the table,
It's just like the Japanese, isn't it, that eat the live baby octopus. You see it stick it fighting its way with like, oh God, no.
I mean, my wife's Filipino, and they eat all of the chickens. So they have chicken's feet, they eat the chicken gizzard, and it's a delicacy to eat the chicken gizzard. I mean, to them, it's chicken gizzard, And the other one they've got is balut, which is it's an egg it's a chicken egg that is fermented with the chicken inside it, and all the mercury builds up inside it, and then they actually eat that and drink the thing. So they eat the baby chicken, but it's been fermented. It's called balut in the Philippines.
Yeah,
and that's one I have not partaken of. That's one I've just said no. It's done. I mean,
I've had boar. Chief, if you like boar, try boar pate. Rough boar pate. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely.
Well, I grew up with my dad doing tripe with milk. He'd do tripe milk and onions in the oven, We'd sit there and we'd chop away,
Yeah, that's what I was told, Brian. And as I said, after looking at my mate's face when he tried it, and I looked at the pincers he still had in his fingers, I thought, no, I'm one suck away from disaster there. You got that bastard hanging down your throat. Yeah. But they do, roast tarantula apparently is a staple in some countries. And in Greece. Do you know what, Sarah?
Still prefer my meat and two veg.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, But no, I am a fussy eater, but I will try something if I haven't tried it before. Luckily enough, Heather knows exactly the sort of things I eat, so I never have to worry looking at it. I can top everything I've eaten Holly's cooking. Oh dear. Looks like you'll be cooking for yourself from now on then, Danny, when you're here. Roast tarantula. It's like sweet marzipan. Yeah, I got good for this. The vision of them legs getting stuck in your throat, isn't it? But I remember making little animals out of cocktail sausages and sticks when we were at weddings. Yeah, see, Holly, we don't do a lot of takeaways. We did one when we were on holiday when my mate and his missus were there for the evening. Simply say the bother of cooking, basically. So we ordered a bloody great big Chinese.
Yep.
But that cost extra to be delivered, obviously, because we were outside the town. But it was worth it at the end of the day just to wipe the table down and chuck it all in the bin,
Yep. Yeah.
Beef.
I mean, I'm lucky enough here. I've got what's called the Irish Village, which is local over by the airport, and they do a lot of Irish food, so I can order that. But I mean, one of my favourites is the cheesy chips with chicken curry, and it's like, boom, I'll have that. Especially when I've been on the lash over the weekends.
Yes, I have done rabbit, Sarah. I don't particularly enjoy the taste of it, and you can't sustain yourself indefinitely on rabbit. It just hasn't got what you need in the meat.
It's nice done in cider.
Well, anything's done inside her, isn't it? You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. That's done inside, you know.
We change the subject. It's making me hungry.
Well, I mean, all the game birds as well, and you know, I do like the partridge and things like that, and the pheasants. That you know, I had a farmer neighbour down when I was living down in not Cornwall, but on the borders of Cornwall, and he would drop off pheasants, a couple of brace of pheasants to me every Christmas. So we'd hang them and leave them there for a week or so, then feather them up and cook them up, you know.
Yeah, it's Phil, they're squirrels, but Paranormal X, good afternoon. Yeah, it's squirrel is another thing. I have tried it, and yeah, you might as well have a chicken wing for what's on them. But what's on the outside of them does make nice warm gloves when it's cold. Yeah, Brian, I don't do a lot of pheasant and partridge and that. I used to years ago. Stuart, and pigeon, yeah. Obviously, coming from a rural area, that was part of your main diet, but I much preferred chicken. Yeah, wood pigeon is very rich. It depends how you cook it. Usually with me, it was just with a stick over a bloody fire in the woods.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, still got 26 watching.
That's good. Healthy. I mean,
I noticed the sub went up one today as well, so somebody obviously wanted to watch today.
my record to date on my live streams is 7. Stitch keeps a record for me. She keeps an eye on it. She goes, you're up to 7. I'm going, yes.
You've got your own file on her computer, like. Yeah.
And Stitch just keeps an eye on it for me. Go, oh, you've got 7 on now. Oh, no, I'm back down at 4.
It goes. I mean, the first one I did, I was very, very lucky because obviously I knew a lot of people through Dan, and a lot of them come over. But I have picked up quite a few, sort of along the way in my own right, as it were.
Yeah.
And it's nice when that happens, especially with some of the foreign subscribers, that they'll go through the list of who I subscribe to, and they'll say, "Oh, who's this? What do they talk?" And I'll send them over to Dan. You know, it's but I don't put the channel out there as such, like a lot of people do.
I enjoy it. It's good fun. I just enjoy it. You know, I mean, it's just cracking on, and you see how long you can go for and what you can talk about. You know, and you're having a beer at the same time. You know.
Well, I probably will shut down at 5 o'clock if we're still going then, rather than keep going then, because I think Dan wanted to do a live in a bit as well. So
he's got a live coming on tonight, is he?
He may do. He may do.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
His sleep patterns at the moment, I think. I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't spoke to him that much last week, obviously being away. So I don't know what his sleep patterns are like. I know he was having problems with them, and he has got a lot of appointments at the moment as well.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he said he was in the hospital and he'd been down for doctor's appointments and things like that. He popped up on one of my lives. I was like, "What the bloody hell is this?" You know, I got back on the live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Ollie. He's had a lot of appointments and stuff like that, and his fatigue is actually worse than mine. He'll have one appointment a day, and that appointment will wipe him out for the rest of that day. You know, it's. I mean, I do get times when I'm like that, but Dan's is more constant like that, and I know what it's like, and I do feel for him, because you struggle to function just doing a normal daily task, like getting up, making a cup of coffee, brush your teeth, check emails, and sometimes that'll wipe you out for the day. You know, it's really hard to function. Yeah,
Holly lost Sales isn't too well either. She lost 2 stone in 2 weeks, which is not good. Yeah.
Brian, you'll love it, mate. In the upcoming video from the fishing, a guy we met up there, Tommy, a real nice guy. He come past and I weighed a couple of fish for him. One was a 10-pound sole, and the other was a 4.5-pound bass. Well, over 4.5 pound. I think it was about 410. On top of that, he had ray and all sorts of things, so he did bloody well. But that'll be in the upcoming video because I did film the fish being weighed.
And was he using different bait to you, or was it just that you just happened to be in a better spot?
No, he had a bit different ground out in front of him. Usually where he fished is where we fish.
Oh, right.
But I elected to fish nearer to the car. One, because of the weather. Two, I didn't have to tote the stuff all the way up the fucking promenade.
Right.
I'll show you this one, and it was ease of use for us more than anything. I mean, there we go. What have I got to press here? Share screen, Windows. I mean, that's just the shelter we use that I have to set up.
Oh, right, got you. What's that for the camera, is it?
Yeah, but also in here, if I move the bait box forward and the camera a bit further over, there's enough room for a deck chair in each side. It is
Gotcha. Yeah.
quite a big shelter. But to show how close we are to the car, which makes it easier for mobility for us, obviously. I mean, that's how if we can get on that end parking space here.
Right, yeah, you're there, you're on it.
The shelter there, the rods in front of us. If the weather get that bad, you can sit in the car and watch your rods, you know.
Yeah.
But that is simply for comfort and ease for ourselves.
Yeah, of course.
You know, plus there, if I did hook into, or one of us hooked into a big fish, we don't have to bother dangling over the side of the seawall with a drop net, because what you can't see there is about 30-40 yards to the right is the lifeboat slip and steps. And at the stage of the tide that we fish, I can just walk down there and pull them up onto that.
Gotcha. So you can net them rather than pull them up. Yeah.
Yeah. And likewise, we always walk fish down the slip to release them rather than throw them over the wall anyway. If they're big. We do it as safe as we can.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I don't put myself at risk. Don't push myself too hard. I mean, I've done my shoulder in casting again, but that was down to the new reel that I bought. One fell apart on me. The fucking reel seat fell off of it. The rivet had corroded through. So I went to the local aquarium, which is, funny enough, a fishing shop as well, which I found strange. But the guy that runs it he's a nice guy. And afternoon, ATL. Welcome, buddy, from America. I just explained that I'm here on holiday. I'm not looking for anything expensive, just another reel to get me through the week. And he had a return, nothing wrong with it. Somebody didn't like the colour. He bought it for his son, and because it was anodized purple, he didn't like it. And he knocked 20 odd quid or 25 quid off the price for me. So yeah, I'll have that. Loaded it up with line. First bloody cast, I nearly emptied the spool on it. It was running that quick. I thought, oh, hello. Good afternoon anyway, AGL. How are you from over there, buddy? I have been watching some of your videos, not lately because I've been away, but yeah. You think we got a problem with schools here? You want to see some of the stuff that he's uncovered out there and the corruption in the authorities surrounding it? Same old, yeah.
Everyone's been shouting this week. Everyone has been shouting. All the boys that are commenting have been shouting about everything because it's been absolute crap in the newspapers.
Well, to be honest, yeah, I did have the telly on a bit while we were away, but that was mainly in the evenings. But I didn't go anywhere near the news. I was more interested in documentary.
That was terrible. It was bad. It was really bad this week. You know,
From what I've been seeing, you know, I've been watching and what have you, and it's bloody ridiculous what they're doing. You know, like we said earlier, so many of these stories that are designed, well, not designed, but they're obviously being used
Yeah.
to cover up other stories. You know, you can't trust them to tell the truth now anyway.
well, it's like, you know, they were 2 days late after a court order. They were 2 days late handing over Boris's phone, and then Boris goes, "Oh, I can't remember the PIN code."
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks, mods, for the invite. No. Yeah, Rob. YouTube have never liked me. Within my first week of having a channel, I got thrown off for a week, and literally they don't put the channel out. I try and say in the videos for the days that I won't be putting anything out, so if people want to go and look the rest of the time, if they don't get alerts, there may be something there. But I don't even get alerts for half the comments on my own channel, mate. That's how bad they are with me.
Well, something very interesting happened today, which I thought was quite odd, because I put out a short on a Saturday morning saying going to do a live stream at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Come and join if you want to join. It started trending on my feeds today,
Well,
which means that YouTube have had a review of it, and admittedly, Stitch and myself were talking about autism and how you deal with autism, and you know what the benefits of autism are and how they're going. So we had a really good long conversation about it. And I think what they've done a human review on me and gone, "Oh, he's not such a political firebrand then. He's talking about good things."
If you drop something like that in, they'll promote that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I got an alert the other day. Well, a recommendation, not an alert, for a video I did on my other channel over a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I was looking at that was last week. That was the 8th of July, 6 days ago. Yeah.
But they've all, you know, there's a lot of us that get what we call shadow banning. There's, you know, different levels. One, they'll either hide everything. A lot of your subs that come in will be made to disappear and go on to another channel or wherever they've created.
Yeah.
They don't push your videos. You know, you put at the bottom of the stack, and it goes on what content you put out.
They've already told me I'll never be monetized. I said, "We're never going to monetize it." I said, I don't do it for monetization. That's not what I do. I'm not interested, you know. But they said, "Oh, we'll never monetize it." Okay, don't monetize me then.
I was out from day one. I don't want to monetize.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't do it for that reason, you know.
But no, I don't fucking adverts slapped all over it. Although that will come. I mean, they're already forcing them on people on Facebook, aren't they?
Yeah. But they, no, I mean, the way I like to do the channel is turn around and say, yes, it is a mad world. This is what's going on, but we're here to support you, and there are nice people out there that are not going to be ramming it down your throat.
Well, the thing is, we need channels out there that are going to help people and help each other.
Yes.
Literally, because it's only us we can rely on. We can't rely on the authorities. We can't rely on the government. We can't rely on the police. So the only people we can rely on is ourselves.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's the key thing. It is about that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of people, Stuart Rhodes, Woodlander, the whole lot. They're all out there now saying we should be buying our own land and going and moving on that, which is a bit extreme. You know, I don't want to be living in a bloody mud hut in a field, you know what I mean? With no sewage, no electricity, and, you know, it's a case of that. But
oh, you mean like we do in London for most of it?
Yeah. I've got my eyes set on a little vineyard in Portugal. That'll do me. Yeah.
I found a nice cave in Wales.
Yeah, I can only drink what I can grow. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. And I can only smoke what I can grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I would, Sarah. I would love a log cabin in the woods, not connected to anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's hard. It is hard to do a living like that, but there are rewards for it.
Well, I mean, with the development of solar now and lithium, it's still not brilliant. But I mean, you're not going to be off grid. You know, you're not going to be totally off grid, and you can get Starlink, but you've got to have the money coming in to pay for that, to actually facilitate that. So you can live virtually anywhere now, have internet, have electricity, have water, have whatever you need, and you can just crack on.
Yeah, Stuart's just saying there what we were chatting about just now. Yeah, Stuart. Yeah, I see that over there in Ireland. If it's not verified by the mainstream media or something, then you're not allowed to put it out, and you're not allowed to copy other people's things and put them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the paranormal channel I got Paranormal X now, isn't it? Paranormal X. Yes, they do. If they don't like your video, they will instantly wipe a load of your subs out. And the worst thing is they don't let them subs know that they've been unsubscribed. And that yes, they have been limiting channels. And also, you've got with the banking thing that Farage had problems with, or is having problems with. They've also done that to a few YouTubers as well, a few of the bigger channels. They've shut their bank accounts down and things like that. And it's all coming in. It's going to get a lot worse. I mean, you got the WEF have got these people that they're paying to disrupt it all on social media. Obviously, governments are doing it. Our government have admitted they've got their own branch there that censor everything on the bloody internet that they can get hold of. And it's yes, Paranormal X. It is going to get worse. I've been saying it for a long time.
When the online safety bill comes in,
before it gets better, and I don't think it's going to get any fucking better, to be honest.
The way it's going at the moment, they'll push until it turns around and the people fight back. But what happens now? What they've done is they've turned the police into paramilitaries and basically doing nothing other than driving around it with guns and everything else like that. They're not actually doing any police work anymore. You've got the army. They've disavowed it. Basically, it's one of the smallest armies in the whole of the Western world now. That is probably not capable of fighting a war, so it's just going to be used for domestic work.
Sorry, Murph. Take care, Sarah. Thanks for dropping in this afternoon, sweetheart. I will catch up with you at some point. Yeah, communications, ATL. That falls in line with what me and Murph have talked about before. You got the same old strategy. You turn the people against themselves, then you limit their movements, you limit their intake of food, you first of all limit their communications, and then you shut it down altogether. That way, everybody's split up, nobody can organise anything.
Divide and conquer, the age-old rule.
Yep, it's been there for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they're still using it. And they don't think people see it, but people are looking at it now, and they're seeing it. Yes, exactly, ATL. And that's what can happen when a whole nation stands up. But
and it's the whole of disinformation.
All right, Andy, catch you later, mate. Be safe.
There was a young girl dragged into a graveyard and raped by 2 men the other day. That's all they've said, 2 men. And police are appealing for witnesses. Well, if you tell us what they look like or what height they were or whatever, if you give us some information, maybe people will remember seeing them somewhere. But just saying 2 men pulled this girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the disinformation. It's the fact that they don't give you the information. We're appealing for witnesses. Well, who are we looking for?
Yeah.
You know?
And now you got these government sector, civil service pay sector, public sector pay awards. Who have they given the biggest award to?
Yeah.
The ones that have failed the fucking most, the police.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
The British Army got 5%.
corruption that's been exposed in them, even in the last year. I recognise that face. He doesn't need to wave. How you doing, buddy?
Oh,
Yeah,
For those that don't know, ATL is over in America there. So
how you doing, buddy?
I'll tell you more
How
about
are
what's going on.
well, you know, you're getting into something so interesting. I mean, governments don't even have to spend money on soldiers anymore. All they have to do is send their people to different countries.
Yeah.
They send the peasants to the different countries to do their dirty work because they know how those peasants act. They've been programmed, they've been trained, they've been brought up to act a certain way. So all they have to do is take this item, this element of chaos that they've created in their system and send it over to your country. Why spend the money on the soldier? The soldier's there to protect them, not you. You know?
Very true.
It's a bizarre thing. It's a bizarre thing.
Well, it's just
And,
like they're doing here with the immigrants. You know,
Yes,
they're here. They are starting a war with the indigenous people.
yes.
It's like
It's a concerted attack. It's a concerted attack to actually change the demographic of a country.
exactly.
We
Yeah.
know about that with Scotland. Well, hey, you guys know about that really well. I mean, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it's.
That's what your kings of old did. But
If you look back through history, you know, it's repeating itself. It really is. The elites and the money people are the ones that are grabbing every
Yep.
bit of power. You know? Oh, the missus is back in. No, she's out. Back later. Oh, okay.
When you look at BlackRock and all of these people, and you know, and there's a BlackRock boss advising Biden, and it's like, you know, well, what is the agenda? Why does BlackRock need to be advising President Biden on what he's doing? You know, it's and BlackRock is owned by. If you look at anything you buy now, it's owned by two companies. Anything that you buy, there's Coca-Cola owned by BlackRock. You know, who owns BlackRock? You buy a camera owned by BlackRock. You know, it's anything you buy at all is owned by one of these two big conglomerates. So they control the food chain, they control what we watch, they control what we buy, they can do this. If you look at what France enacted recently, they put programs on your phone where they can listen to what you're doing even if it's switched off. So they've even got the programs there. It's called the Pegasus system. They've even got the programs there where they can now, even if your phone is switched off, they can turn the microphone on, they can turn the camera on.
Well, you think about that. You were just saying about the food chain and how everything moves. You look at, there's one company that basically control all the movement of shipping on this planet.
Yeah,
that's the ones that own the ferries that we had the problems with here. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I looked into them, and they own most of the major shipping in the world.
Yeah,
and that goes back to the 1800s. That goes back to the 1800s with the train, the East Indian Trading Company.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
East India Trading Company and the pirates, and
yeah. Well, who do you think the pirates were? You know,
the pirates were the bad guys? Were paid by the government. They were government. And that is fact. A lot of the pirates were government people.
Yeah, they would actually they give a portion of their bounty to the government. Yeah,
they said they were recovering it off of pirates, but they weren't. They were stealing it themselves and handing it back for profit. Oh yeah,
it's insane, and to think that it's obnoxious that they don't think people see it. So now that people see it a little bit more, I mean, that's one thing that, the open communication has done for us in different countries and things like that, is that we see it on a much bigger scale instantly instead of reading about it in history 20 years later.
Yep.
It's I don't know if it's a good thing. Maybe it was better leaving us like that in the past day, because they did allow the small people to live their lives in a somewhat peaceful way.
Yeah. Pay your taxes, live on, you know.
Yeah,
Well, the
but
problem
now,
is
Somebody said
we've
the
been
other day, is
we've been on a concerted
our
attack
money-
from the left wing. We've been on a concerted attack from the left wing. First of all, they institutionalized themselves at the universities, so they were educating at that. Now they're in the schools. Those people who came out of university are now teaching in schools, and they're institutionalized into, oh, we I can't call you he, I can't call you she. Let's call you something. Shut up. It's a he or a she. You know what I mean? And it's very simple.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you had this ideal been put into people that, you can be anything you want. The world doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
Tell that to a Ukrainian child. Tell that to a Ukrainian child who's living in the apartments getting bombed. Does anyone care what demographic? Do they go? Is it a he or a she? Should we just fire this missile? Should we? No, we won't fire a missile at he or she. We'll fire a missile at them. It's crazy. So this bullshit narrative that goes on around the place about, oh well, I want to be this, and having transgenders teaching kids about books and things like that. It has absolutely nothing to do other than distraction.
I yanked my kid out of the school for a lot of these reasons. I did. I put him into a Catholic school. I mean, I'm not saying that they're better, but they're a hell of a lot less worse. It's the least of the less of the evil.
Yeah.
And wow.
Oh, hang on.
And that's why you see a lot of different religions. Like who has it is the Orthodox Jews. They separate themselves completely from all of this.
Yeah.
You know what? You're not allowed to use the internet. You're not allowed to do this. And you know what? They have leaders that look at this stuff, so they're not ignorant to what's going on. And it's not a bad thing, but they demonize these groups that have that kind of structure. They say, oh, well, they're trying to do this to children and that. Look what you're doing to children with this sex thing. I don't know.
Oh, it really. Hang on, I'm moving stuff around here, and I can't remember where I put stuff. It's all right, Joe.
It is that, I mean, I watched a program the other day, The Rise and the Fall of BLM. Black Lives Matter, and the corruption that went in on that and everything else, and they were the sort of like, the big thing then, the hot flavor. So no one talks about them now. Now we've got the Stop Oil campaign, but before that we had Insulate Britain. Before that we had someone else, and it's just like this revolving circle of bullshit that comes through, and it's just they're doing this, they're doing that, they're throwing orange powder there and throwing orange powder. Who gives a damn? What are you reporting it for? Don't give them the oxygen of publicity.
Modern day pirates.
Yeah. Well, they're not even that good. They're not even that good. The pirates were good. The smugglers in Cornwall were good. They knew how to get things in and get and earn money. These idiots don't. They don't earn any money out of it. They just go. It's to them. It's let's go and throw orange powder on the court at Wimbledon. What exactly is that for? Don't know.
It's like I've always said. They're trying to draw attention to their cause, but they're alienating the very people they want to fight for behind them.
Well,
they want us to back them. That ain't the way to get them support.
I think it's a little worse than that, though. I think it's a way for them to collect information on the amount of population that will respond to this element. And so now, if they get a response that gets to the point where the element is destructive to them or a nuisance to them, they'll do something about it. But if the new sentence works in their favor, like the pirates did, they'll let it go. I mean, the BLM, they committed crimes, big
Yeah.
crimes, not little ones, crimes against the state kind of crimes against the people. They'll never see a day in court. They won't.
No.
Well, you see, you've got the other thing as well, which has historically gone on, is that about every 20 to 50 years, there's been a war. And that
Yeah.
culls the population and it keeps the population down to manageable levels. Now, we haven't had technically a normal war in a long time. It's been more electronic warfare. It's more missiles now. It's there's very few charging each other across trenches and things like that. So they have to think of other ways on culling the population. They've got to keep the population down below a certain level, and they've got to cull the population accordingly, because the food source, especially with the likes of Bill Gates buying up whole farms and turning it into just fields of flowers, is, with his agenda, it's a case of that you're going to have a situation where if we don't get independent in our own right, we are going to turn around and be in big trouble.
I remember seeing a film where they were virtually bombing cities and then giving virtual casualty numbers. Catch-22.
Yeah.
Where, we're going to bomb there tonight. You will have 3,000 casualties, but you can bomb us here tomorrow night. Well, we'll have 2 more,
Yeah.
Yeah, Catch-22, I think it was. It was a weird film. Very weird.
Well, the strange thing is, when you get to the top people, this is the way they talk to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the way that we're talking like this. They're no different. They're no different. Biden, all our leaders, they're no different than you, me, and, they're no different.
They know the risks and they calculate everything in every move they do. They might not always tell you the result of that, but they do.
Yeah, they got statisticians working on these kind of numbers.
Yep. You send X amount of bombs to somewhere, they're going to kill X amount of people.
Well, it's like they run out of the 155 shells. They run out of the 155 shells. Okay, we'll just send the cluster shells. Send the cluster bombs.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got enough 155, so we'll send the cluster bombs over. There you go. No problem. Isn't there a Geneva Convention about the use of cluster bombs? Aren't they banned in about 150? Don't worry about it. We've got them. We'll just use them.
Yeah.
This is what their thought process is about. It's banned in so many different countries. Yet no problem. Yeah, you just have the cluster bombs. We haven't got enough 155 shells for you.
The thing that I get pissed at is when they turn around and say that's against the rules of war. There are no fucking rules in war.
We know that our governments are breaking the rules all the time. Our governments break the rules every single day. They break laws, they break rules, and then they walk away scot-free. We park on a double yellow line. And we're hauled in court.
If you're playing to rules, you're playing a game.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, war is kill or be killed. End of.
I mean, that's a very simple. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
If there's somebody trying to kill me, I'm going to try and kill them. Simple as.
But you're
I don't care how I do it.
But you're not allowed.
No. Because I have to play within the rules. That's
how the police work here.
Yeah.
The police don't have to follow the law.
No.
If it's in the course of their duty, they don't have to follow the law.
Yeah.
And if they're punched in on the clock, it is always in the course of their duty.
Yeah.
And since you take an oath to office, you're always on the clock. So by becoming a police officer, you've literally put yourself above the law.
I will say, from what I see, you might pull me up on it, HL, but your authorities over there, when the police are out of line and they prove to be out of line, they do deal with them a lot quicker and a lot better than we do with ours over here.
I don't know how they deal with them over there. I I think over there they don't deal with them as much. Here we have a little more public outcry.
In the United Kingdom, the police take a knee.
All right, Paul. Got Paul in the back room. I'll let him up in a minute. Yeah, ATL over here. Now, if a cop has been accused of, say, misconduct, he can sit there for up to 2 years on full pay, waiting for a conduct hearing to come up.
Oh, I just put a video up on my channel not too long ago about Deputy Sheriff Brian Brandon. This man fractured a guy's skull. He beat his head in until he cracked his eye socket. And Internal Affairs said, all right, that was excessive force. So they found him guilty of excessive force.
Yeah.
Now, that's assault. If he went against policy and procedure, fractured a man's skull, that's assault. All they did was give him a day off from work after a year and a half worth of investigation, of course. So he had enough time to prepare for it, for his day off, to miss that pay. The thing is, when they get suspended without pay, the police union comes here and says, here's the money that you lost on your suspension.
Yeah.
So, and at no time do you ever lose a penny of your salary, because they have something in play to cover your salary when you do commit a crime.
Well, in the UK, if you're suspended, you get paid. You still get paid. You get paid your salary even if you're suspended.
But you have what they call badge bargaining over there as well, don't you?
What is it called?
Badge bargaining, where they agree that you resign from here because of this, but this force will take you on down there.
Oh yeah.
Afternoon, Paul.
Afternoon, Paul.
He's keeping well there.
Yeah, you're doing well, my man.
I couldn't go on. I went to go on there about 15 minutes ago. I got a phone call. I was going to jump in. What would you all know about?
What's been happening with you this week?
Not a lot. I just 12th of July parades here last week, whatnot. As far as I know, there was no trouble, no riot. But geez, I don't know what's wrong with some people. Just I got a phone call there earlier on. One of my cousins there, she was raped there last night. There's things going on in the town here. People's going completely mad at the minute. That are coming down from other towns, starting trouble down here. But then again, as I like to say, the whole world's gone crazy.
Oh, so about ATL. Question now. I don't know whether you can see the chat from Holly. When the police get pulled up for bad behaviour over here, we have got what's supposed to be an independent organisation to investigate it.
Yeah, right.
Do you have anything like that over there, other than Internal Affairs?
Well, in some places, and very few, by the way, they have civilian review boards. And I'm saying there are very few of them. If it goes to a civilian review board, it's independent. Now, what I mean by independent is the police pick who is on the civilian independent board. So if you want to call that independent, please go ahead and call it independent.
Yeah.
So there are civilian review boards, and then you have internal affairs.
Well, yeah,
and just because it goes to internal, and it could go to both,
Yeah.
But we don't have any system set up where if you see a cop commit a crime, they get arrested, get suspended, and they go to court. That doesn't exist.
And the civilian workers are actually all ex-bloody police as well, no doubt.
Yeah, well, because I said about a story that I saw, this was back last year in America. It was one town or city area or whatever it is that you have over there. I don't quite know. But the whole police force in that area were issued with these non-playable cameras. They were turned on at the beginning of their shift. They couldn't turn them off. They couldn't mute them. It could only be done when the shift was ended. Now, the townspeople agreed to this, apparently. They had meetings with the police and the councils or whatever you have over there. And they said it's a good idea. And the police voluntarily said, if there's any reports of misconduct, we will get the public in. We will put these body cam videos out in public so you people can make your mind up. And apparently the police brutality dropped to near enough zero. And everybody was happy, and they were even back on first name terms with the local policeman.
Sure.
You know,
Get rid of the bad ones, yeah.
yeah, and just through changing the rules with those body cams, achieved that.
But a lot of the time, those body cams, what ends up happening here, they mute them, they shut them off.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not available to the public. When you do get them, they're edited or they go missing. Or, I mean, there's a whole lot of things that happen. Now, if they had a body cam where it showed, you know, in a StreamYard 24/7, or where they didn't have the opportunity to delete something, and it was done in real time, which they have the technology to do. It's not a difficult thing. That would make a lot of changes. That would definitely change the ball.
But
game.
this is the thing, you see. If you look at the way you're thinking and the way you're talking, you forget the fact that they are a public servant.
Yeah.
They police by the will of the people. It's
Not
by
here.
our will allowing them to be policemen is what allows them to be policemen.
Yes.
So but the narrative and the way it's been talked to now is that people don't think that they're public servants anymore. They don't think, oh, he's the prime minister. No, he's a public servant. He's a president. He's a public servant. He's there to look after us. And if he's not looking after our business, looking after our self-interest and looking after the people of the country, he is not, shouldn't be in that position.
But what a simple way of doing it. It just the officer has no access to the function of the camera. It's on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
APL said the technology's there. We do it with our phones all the time. When you live streaming, it goes to a cloud.
Yeah.
It can't be deleted.
Here's the thing, and Murph, I brought this topic up to Deputy Sheriff. Here's what they're trying to interject into the world right now. I said to the Deputy Sheriff, "You're a public servant." He said, "Yes, I'm a public servant." So, well, I'm the public. He told me, "No, I'm not the public." So now, see, what we have here is the public isn't real. The public is an idea.
Yes.
Well, all of
So the public really doesn't exist. It's just a word, just like
we
boy
are
and
all
girl.
fiction. On your birth certificate, use 2 birth certificates, and one of them is a fictional character, and that's all exactly what we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what you're talking about, BWCs and whatnot. It's unreal here. I'm from Northern Ireland, by the way. And here, I've applied straight away from the very next day through the Ombudsman, that's people that investigates police, which they allowed police to delete their 3 BWCs. That's the video, the body cams. And also one of them, what I did got, only they sent me out 15 maps.
That's your identity in the UK. If you've got one of these, that number there is your identity. The rest of it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that is my original, by the way.
Yeah. I've got mine as well.
So you got 2 birth certificates, if I'm right. And one of them it states on one of the birth certificates you cannot use this for identification. That's there's one of them I get mixed up with them, but basically every person is actually classed as a fictional person.
You know, and this is where the push now is for the digital ID, isn't it? It's for everyone to have a digital ID.
Yep.
And the next stage then is you're born, and born and they put a chip in. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah, and they put a microchip over, and everybody calls it AstraZeneca.
yeah. But I mean, when they didn't realise the chip wouldn't work, that's why they're going on facial recognition now.
That's the way it's all going, Mower. That is the way it's all going. Look at the amount of cameras that's going up all around the bloody place on a regular basis.
Yeah, and they're all facial recognition. They're all designed for facial recognition. So you'll have facial recognition cameras, which are as they're the alternative to having a chip in you. So they'll actually recognise your face. They'll know who you are. They'll be able to link everything into it. Link all your YouTube channel if you've been on YouTube, your Facebook, all your digital data will just be pulled in on that one facial recognition.
Yeah, and if you've ever been in an airport or train station, you're gone. You're in their system.
Yep.
Phil just said he thought my birth certificate would be chiseled in slate. So
But I mean,
all this lot here, they all call me Pops.
Here in Dubai, if you walk into any mall or anything like that, there's one camera there, and it's all facial recognition. And this is the police here don't actually go out and do any work. In every mall, there's 2 police officers, and when someone is wanted, it comes up on their phone and boom, yep, come on, come with us, and that's all they do all day long.
They never
And
make
these new
mistakes.
ones on the gantries on the motorways now are the ones that actually look into your car. They look at what you're doing inside as well. So if you're on a phone playing with buttons, turning something on and off, they can see you ain't got both hands on the steering wheel. Boom. Driving without due care and attention. Bit like me, Monday.
I'm driving now, thank God.
Did you see the video the other day, Paul, where I run into the back of the 4x4?
No, I haven't seen that there.
Yeah, we were coming back from Cumbria Monday from holiday. Halfway down the M6, a couple of police cars went tearing past. And I said to the missus, there's something going on up in front. And it was a car on fire. Now, I could see all the traffic moving over. I thought, well, we're going to get by this before the bloody police shut the roads down. Pulled out into the outside lane. We were only doing 15, 20 mile an hour tops. And I was following a 4x4, a crew cab. And I didn't see a car had pulled in front of him and braked. I'm too busy rubbernecking it, what was on fire, and I just run straight into the back of his fucking pickup.
Don't find the most damage done to the pickup.
Yeah, but the best bit was I had a dash cam on. I had one of my sports cameras going in the dash. It was
you
all...
don't understand them things will incriminate you.
No, it was all cool. We pulled over, I got out and we had a quick handshake. He was more worried about the damage to ours than his because he knew I'd hit the tow ball.
I'll be honest with you. I do not miss that M6. That is one thing I do not miss.
I don't mind coming across Shap. I love driving through there, especially after driving through the Lake District hills and that. But once I get past there and start heading towards Liverpool and Manchester, that's when I think we should invent transporters, Beam me down there, Spotty.
Well, have you not got the tunnels over there the same way America has, for God's sake? Oh, sorry. Don't know that.
I'll tell you, Paul, honestly, if you watch some of HEL's videos where he goes into the police stations and questions them and what have you, it gives you a big insight to the way they operate over there.
It gives you a chill, is what it does. Because I don't act crazy or anything like that.
No.
I just go in there and I start asking a lot of questions, asking for information. I'm not one of these crazy auditors out there trying to get a thrill out of someone.
No.
And they get violent. They get nasty. I've been one sheriff tried to knock me over. Another one, they threatened me with arrest. I got one guy following me around. It's insane. And they send violent people after me. Randy, the head of the all of the police here in this town. He could have sent any sheriff to come and talk to me, but what he did was he got Brian, who has multiple history of excessive force. They knew exactly who they were sending to come and get me. They wanted the guy that would act out, the guy that fractured a man's skull.
They're not so violent over here, but they do send a lot of their boys round just to simply harass people that own, you know, or take their computers. Oh, you might have something on there, right? We'll have that away. Yeah, it's just total harassment. Like Dan from Police Abusing Powers. Police have had his phone for over a year now, I think it is. They've sent all his other kit back, the SIM cards, memory cards, but they've kept his phone and they won't send it back. You know, it's just pure harassment.
It's harassment and intimidation. It's designed to intimidate you, you know.
They'll come and arrest you, drag you down,
Yeah.
protest you, de-arrest you, send you home, no charge, because they know
Well,
it's
that's the
taken up your
thing.
evening.
That's the thing. They can. You don't have to commit a crime or do anything wrong. If they don't like you for what, it doesn't matter what the reason is. If you're doing something that they don't like, they could arrest you, throw you in jail for a lengthy period of time.
Yeah.
For no reason,
And then
Yeah.
just drop the case afterwards.
and just drop the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what you're talking about there? What they did back on me back in February. I don't record things. I do the live interactions. They came to my door and the way they're walking up and down, get out here now till we get our hands on you. Get out here now. What am I arrested for? Get out here now. And then, no, not arrested. Now I'm arrested. Now I'm not arrested, but they're still refusing to tell me. They stole my mobile phone out of my hands while I was inside my house. They're trying to say it was seized under peace, seized under arrest, but there's nothing called out. But the wee bold cop, Jonesy boy, which is the name is, his mistake was he came back to my house 5 days later. Now, the next morning, after I got released, I lodged a complaint into the ombudsman here. I also sent away my .1 forms for all the BWCs the very next day, which they covered this up like blue fuck, excuse my language. Now, where I came down to
Simon.
Jonesy was sent back to my property, although my another female colleague, which I recorded that. Now, Jonesy should not have been on my property because the minute I lodged a complaint against him, that revoked his rights of access. Now, the ombudsman has taken their time and pissing about. The investigating officers off for a month now. So he has, and I'm still waiting them to send me back letters with this because I'm put the complaints in for aggravated trespassing, which is a criminal offence, not ordinary trespassing. That's civil matter. The sergeant argued this with me. I said, no, this is aggravated trespassing. His rights of access was revoked. I'm also doing him for armed trespassing with a firearm, armed trespassing with a pepper spray, armed trespassing with a taser, armed trespassing with a baton, and each one of them is a mandatory 6-month prison sentence in Northern Ireland. So this will be interesting because no doubt this bastard will get away with it.
Yeah, well, you look at what they did. I mean, it was a year or so ago now. Oh, God. Agent X. Now, she kept getting harassed by a copper. She went to court and she actually took an injunction out against this copper. This copper wasn't allowed within, I think it was 100 meters or 100 feet of her at any time.
Mm-hmm.
The day after that order was issued, that one copper with 3 others was knocking on her door to arrest her.
Yeah.
They took her down the station, de-arrested her at the table, and sent her on her way.
Yeah.
I've got a boy contacted me. Now,
Let me
this
show
man
you.
has 368 complaints in against police. 100 of them is against one officer here in Northern Ireland. And the ombudsman, case closed, no wrongdoing. 100 complaints.
Well, they're supposed to be working through the ones we've got over here that have had complaints against them, but I ain't seen a lot of action over it. Oh,
Yeah, well, I mean, in Northern Ireland, the police are more paramilitary. You know, they are more a paramilitary unit, whereas in the UK, they're woke, ineffectual.
Dawson. Right.
Yeah,
In the States, they are paramilitary.
yeah, they're not far off here, mate. They're not
Yeah,
far off here.
the police in the United States are a paramilitary group. They use military rank. They are a paramilitary group.
yeah.
Never make that mistake. And they where's my sound going?
No, you're okay. I can hear you.
Hello.
Paul's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, he does quite often. He has a bad connection from Northern Ireland.
All right.
What's happening here in the States now, and it doesn't get advertised that often, is there are citizen groups that are starting to actually go after bad police, and you hear about it in forms of someone attacked the police or tried to assassinate the police. Now there are citizen groups out there that actually go out and murder police because of their actions.
Right.
And it's insane. The police are so violent and out of control. And it's like violence meets violence. It's so wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's.
And it's going to end up being so bad, but the police will never yield. So these groups are not going to yield as well.
Yep.
It's going to get worse.
Yep. And I think that's what we're going to see here before long.
You know, I mean, I'm ex-military, and I just know from a military point of view that, if one of my boys gets shot or anything like that, I'll get the bastard who shot him. You know what I mean? I will go for it, and I will make it happen. So, violence begets violence. You understand? It's.
Yes.
I understand in a military contact, we're there to do damage to each other. Yes, but if one of my boys goes down, I'll find out who it is and I'll get him. I'll make sure he doesn't see his family again, and it's the way it works. And if it just builds, then his mates want to get me, and it's the way it works. My side of it, I was a sniper, so I'm a completely different animal. I'm alone, and I'm checking my boys as they're going forward. So I can see who's firing at who, and I can see what's happening, and I can take them out once I need to. So this citizens group going around killing policemen isn't the right way about it. You know what I mean?
No,
the way about it is through the courts and throw them in jail. That's the way forward,
Yes. That's the only way to do it. We have 3 branches of government here. We got judicial, we got legislative, and then we got executive. The police fall under the executive branch. And in order to properly do this, you have to use the other 2 branches of government to put that side of government. You have to use the legislative, the judicial, to go against them. But that's not what these people are doing. And it's going to turn into a shithole, because that's all it's doing is giving cops more power to put your rights in the gutter. They already laugh at our Constitution. If you bring up the U.S. Constitution to a cop, most of them laugh. Most of them will actually just literally laugh in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a piece of paper that separated us from you guys.
Nobody's aware there is a hell of a lag between StreamYard and YouTube at the moment. So if anybody's asked a question of that, it'll be a while before it comes up.
Sorry for jumping in here. I'm going to piss off on Lee's. Sorry, it was a quick jump in there. I was hoping to stay on a bit longer.
Oh, Paul, it's good to see you, buddy. It's good to see you.
Likewise,
Always
Mark.
good to see you, Paul.
It's a pleasure. I can't see the big last name there in America. It's an honor and a pleasure having a look at you, sir, and listening to you. And likewise, the rest of you there. Hopefully, I'll get on maybe Sunday night. Roger, will see what way things turn out at the minute.
All right. Take care, Paul. Take care, my mate.
The whole lot is be safe, be lucky, and I'll finish this off with my usual ACAB.
Take care, Paul.
It's your decision what you want to make.
See you soon. See you soon.
Yeah, buddy.
Love you all, bros. Take care
Yeah,
of yourself.
take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, what he was saying there, ATO, he was just passing on his wishes.
Okay.
Sometimes the Northern Irish accent, some people can grasp, some people struggle with it. I mean, I've got Irish relatives. My mother was Irish, so you know I can hear what they're saying. It's
Yeah, I mean, I caught most of it, but when the accent gets deep, I
Yeah.
lose it.
And he's deep Northern Irish accent. He's got a deep Northern Irish accent. He's a good lad, you know.
he's a lovely fellow, and he does go at the police over there. He's had an awful lot of trouble with them.
Well, just the way even you guys use your words. I mean, you use them, properly, of course, but it's used in such a way that it's like, hold on a second. I have to stop, put it into context, and then go again. You know, I get pause when you guys talk, and you talk so much better than us. I mean, we talk more like a street kind of. It's not even like a language. It's where you're speaking actual structured language, and you're using your grammar. And we don't do that here. We don't do
I'm
that.
I'm a bit of a pain because I also teach English as well. So with me, it's always the exact word for what I'm trying to describe. You know, that's the thing. I don't teach it professionally. I'm an engineer by profession, but I have a free English class that I give every week on free for kids that around the world who can't afford it. So it's a case of over the years, I've had to really structure the way that I put words together so that they can understand it. You know?
If you start talking like that over here, you're going to get a lot of crap.
No, I'm aware of that. I'm fully aware. Yeah.
You know, I tend to lean towards that kind of a structure. I have a very kind of Orthodox Catholic and Jewish background.
Yeah.
And from the 70s, and everyone that I grew up around were in the Bronx. No one was from the United States. Everyone was from, Ireland, Scotland, England, Germany, Israel.
Yeah.
Everyone came, it was all the immigrants from World War II from Europe that came over there and lived in the Bronx. So that's the people that I grew up around, and they talk like you talk. So that's what my ear, and that's the way, I could very easily fall into it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different words that, both sides of the pond use for different things. And again, as you say, they'll use a different word in the same word, but in a totally different context. And I'm usually fine with Americans. The ones that I actually have problems with sometimes are Canadians.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my accent is more West Country than anything in this country. I mean, even the Mrs. Mother she used to interpret for me when I was talking to her. Oh, what's the pirate saying now, like?
Yeah. What the old smuggler saying there, right?
Yeah. Well, we can't act like that. I know you're going down, you're going to catch lunch, like,
But you talk like you do over here, you could get yourself killed. Our world over here is they're very catchy on if you say the wrong word at the wrong time, and they just home in on it, and that's their entire battle. It has nothing to do with any action that you might have taken, but you used the wrong word. You misspoke that.
I think
so we're gonna throw you out in the garbage.
The most famous one that I can remember from over here was when our Top Gear team drove down through, I think it was the south with their pickups and that, with slogans all over.
Oh, they went down into the hillbilly territory and with all the painting on the cars,
Yeah. Did you ever see that one over there, AGL?
I was stationed down in Louisiana, and this is going back to the 80s and the early 90s, and there were places there where they don't even speak, they speak English, but it's like you know, ain't gonna say, you know,
Yeah, it's
like,
a
what
draw.
the hell
isn't
did
it?
you just say?
Yeah.
And if you get into the countryside, into the Appalachians and things like that,
Mm.
I mean, if you listen, I mean, you understand what people are saying. But I mean, if you don't have the mentality, if you're kind of like a hard neck, you know, where it's like if you're not using my words, you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah,
And
you've
I
got to
think
have a
you know, whether
reasonable
someone can
idea of
travel
what
or
they're
not.
saying.
Well, I
Jason.
mean, in the UK's. I mean, you can fit 50 UKs into the whole of America. You know, it's such a small country. But if you start down at the bottom and go to the top, that you'll go through 30 or 40 different accents.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know? And some of them, I mean, if you go to Newcastle and try to understand some of the Newcastle boys talking, you'll be like, what the hell? You know? Well, hey, man, like, hey, what the hell does YI mean? You know?
It's listening to Benny Hill, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like when you go out into the sticks, even down in the county of Cornwall there.
Ah.
I mean, it's hilarious. You walk into a pub and you sign the darts team, you're playing darts against them, and they've all got the same surname. And look, what's the crap here? And they said, well, they all come from the same gene pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same with some of the deep south over there, isn't it, HL? When you get into the Appalachians and stuff like that. There's a lot of that out there.
It's kind of like east of Texas, south of Ohio, south of Pennsylvania. So it's like in north of Florida. So you have an entire section there that has they were the most isolated. I mean, that they were the farmers. So they were the most isolated communities where, you know, when you get outside of them, you got all your mainstream cities and things like that. But even when you go out west, you don't hear it so much. It's pretty much that area. You know, it's like, you know, Virginia, North, South Carolina, not so much anymore. Then you got, well, Georgia, but Georgia's changing into more mainstream now. But like Mississippi, Alabama, terrible. Louisiana, terrible. And then Kentucky, Tennessee. I mean, the kids born today aren't like that. But if you go into like my generation, and my generation of kids, because we got internet now every place, so it's not a question of.
It's homogenized, it's homogenized a lot, you know.
A lot of that uniqueness is gone. It's gone. That uniqueness that we used to have, it's completely gone. It's completely gone, and that goes into like when I grew up. I grew around all the European immigrants. You know, so that's what I know. Yeah. That's gone. And you know what? That will never happen again. That was like a golden era there, because here you had the European immigrants that were all highly educated, all, you know, that fought during World War II, all escaped like Nazi Germany and Mussolini and El Duce down in Italy and all the bad guys, you know. So they had a lot of life experience. So they had that patience that no one else has anymore. Yeah. That patience is just like gone. It has been bred out of people. Yeah. It's gone. It's they don't even know what it is. It's not even gone. It's a fantasy. It's turned into a fantasy, a thing that you read about in fairy tale books.
Yeah. Well, I think what has gone. What I think I've noticed now is the art of debate, the art of saying, right, I'm going to take this position, you take that position, and let's debate it. But at the same point, we turn around and we remain friends. But we're going to debate it properly. And now it isn't. You say something, someone will judge immediately and judge you immediately for what you said and why you said it, and come up with. There's no all right, I see your argument, but this is my juxtapose. This is what I'm putting back at you. What are you going to say to that? And then you bang, you put your back, and that, you just don't get it. It's just, yes, you're wrong. Well, no, not necessarily. I put it out there for a reason, and it might have been for a reason to draw your attention, and and I brought it there to.
People don't think like that.
To opinions.
No, they've lost that art. It's one of the arts that they should have, and they've lost the art of rationality and reasoning, and to reason in a debate, and to reason why you're debating, and what you're doing, and how you're doing it, and why you should be doing it, and that has gone.
Yeah, they're too programmed now to do as you're told.
Yeah.
Do as you're told, and if you say the wrong thing, you're wrong. It's instant.
And that's why we have police that could come over and lock you up for no reason, throw you in jail, take you away from your family and your life for no reason, but other than you disagree with them.
Yes. Yeah.
You disagree with them, so I'm going to lock you up for a few weeks, a few months, a few years while you wait for your court date. And the police use that power since they're allowed to do it. They use that every time.
Orwellian way of thinking, isn't it?
Yep.
It is Orwellian.
Yeah.
It right up. It's right out of the book.
It is surveillance. The two continents at war. The police locking up for thinking. The stopping of breeding.
It's like, what? You could turn off your TV set? Oh my God. You're allowed to turn your TV set off?
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
How many lights do you see? Do you see 3 lights or 5 lights?
I see 3.
Yeah.
That's the old Star Trek scenario, isn't it?
And they don't want you to see.
No.
They don't want you to see those lights. They want you to say that you see them.
But the ones that are really in control are the ones that censor what the ones that are running the country see. We've actually got a government department that censors what the politicians see on their media.
Yeah. So it's called the CDU. It's the Centre of Disinformation Unit. It's the Central Disinformation Unit, and they have BBC, which is the main channel. They have someone sitting there all the time. They've got people from YouTube. They've got people from Facebook. They've got people from everyone. And if there's a narrative going out on stream that they don't like, these boys are on it straight away.
Yep.
This is what we're going to write. This is what we've got to talk about. This is the thing. Yep. This is why now you see newspapers in the UK have got the exact same headline on every single paper. Because it's run by oligarchs who are turning around, and the government is telling them what they're going to write, and they're giving them basically the news that they're going to write each day, and they just print it, and they expect the masses to read it.
With all this knowledge, should we really be on YouTube talking about it like this?
Oh, they hear us.
We're going to break a hip someplace, they're going to find us with a broken hip somewhere.
I've had my 2 bans for speaking truths.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't had one yet on Facebook, which I'm very surprised at.
I regularly get banned on Facebook. I've got my Facebook inmates badge.
We've normally got the 2 queens of Facebook jail in here. Holly's in here; she's one, and the other one is Kel. She only just finished another ban today, actually.
Well, I found a way around it. Now because what I do is I don't make a comment. I might post a video which might have racial connotations over the grooming gangs or something like that, and they'll say,
"She's been chatting in the background. Good afternoon, wee one."
And I go, no, it isn't. I go, what? I said, look, I haven't done it. I said, here we go again. Make your own mind up. I said, I'm putting it. I haven't made any comment on it. I've just posted it, and I haven't made any comment on it. And they sent me back an email about half an hour later. Go, sorry, it was our mistake. We made a mistake. We're sorry. Just because of the wording. I don't make any comment on what I'm posting. I just put here you go again. Make your own mind up. You know,
Holly
and that
put
gets
one
me.
out there the
I
other
haven't had a
day.
Facebook ban in 2 years now.
On her Facebook, they've imposed a thing on, I believe, all of us, where they're controlling now what you actually see. It's not turned off by default. They actually stop showing you the stuff that you've been looking at that is against the narrative, basically.
Yeah.
You can undo it, but the steps that she gave, I think, is for a phone. I've tried it on the computer. I only do Facebook on the computer. I don't do it on my phone.
Yeah.
And I've got to find out how to do it, but it's something to do with the news feed.
YouTube does that.
Yeah. They do that by shadow banning.
Yeah.
And they put a new tab up there that says "New to You." So it's a way for them to, get out of saying that they're doing that. It's like, oh, well, you even have a button here to put you out of the algorithm if you want. I mean, the button is hard to see, but it's yeah, that's there.
Yeah, I mean, as most of them in here know, I'm not that clever with tech, but I'm slowly learning my way around things. And yeah, Murph has an even bigger issue with it.
I've done a whole live stream and didn't turn the mics on.
That was
You were
quite
playing, but it was a mime stream.
and then we had a 2-hour stream with two of us.
That's right. Yeah.
But there again, he's on a totally different system out there in Dubai to what we are here. It's he's got different connections.
I've got a much simpler.
You're in Dubai.
I'm in Dubai. Yeah.
Oh, so you're in the Middle East.
I'm in the Middle East. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad because it seems like you guys have a hell of a lot more freedom out there than you do over here.
Oh, damn right. Yeah. We do. The key thing is the thing that you've got here is there's no bullshit at all. If you step out of line, you're in jail.
Yeah.
Right. Go to jail, and they'll throw away the key and they won't even think about it. So. As a result, when you get these Muslims turning around and rah, flashing the flags and everything else like that, if you show a flag other than what's in the UAE, the UAE flag, if you show a Pakistan flag or something like that, bang, go to jail. It's very, very strict rules. And, I mean, I've got 3 friends in jail now. One was walking down the road one day. This guy tried to mug him. He knocked him out. The guy said, "Oh, I'm deaf. I can't hear in my ear." So he's in jail now waiting for his trial on the 27th. Whereas in the UK, he would have been arrested, taken to a police station, bailed after 2 hours and given him his court date to come back. He would have had his freedom. Here, they just lock him up. They've locked him up now for a month and he'll be inside for a whole month. Then on the 27th, he gets it. That was Reese, who remember Reese? The hooligan who's back from her holidays. You have a good time?
Who beat me at flicking?
I don't know. Is there any or anything? Because
over here it's much stricter. Yeah, much stricter rules, and you don't get half the trouble.
No, your mic and that's working fine, bud.
That's okay.
It's probably one of the safest cities to walk around in the world at any time of the night.
For those that don't know, she's sat about 6 foot that way from here.
Should put my picture above yours.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
And also, you're there, and I'm here.
Move your bloody camera then, innit?
You want me to put the computer in the window like yours is?
No.
Well, that's what I mean. You are facing that way, and I am facing that way.
That way, yeah. But you're still only 5 feet from each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I had thought about cutting a hole in the floorboard so I could drop things on his head.
Oh, that one's not working. Hello.
Yes, thank you, Murph. Had a lovely holiday.
Excellent, excellent.
Hey, on there, look, on there in the dark.
So your
Yeah.
side view, is it? I should, yeah.
But my window is there, so. But yeah, it's basically underneath me. If the floorboards give way, he'll get crushed.
I like
Oh,
it down here in the
Where,
dark.
where,
It's
where
kind
part of town are
private.
you from?
I'm from Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham.
No, Birmingham.
Yeah.
You have Birmingham in Alabama. Is it Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Birmingham.
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 This is what we were talking about earlier about the different
Yeah,
places
I was listening.
and accents.
Talk about the languages.
I was listening. I was chatting with one of my co-trainees, and I thought, nah, it's boring. I'll come on this one. Say hello before I come down and do your tea.
It's great because when we're out together, people they hear my West Country accent and a Birmingham accent. They're like, "What?"
Yeah, that might have been a bit interesting, I'd say. You know.
It's good fun. Talk to him, and they say, "You've travelled up here from Cornwall?" No, Birmingham.
We once said she's a yam yam.
She might be, but I.
She lives the wrong side of the motorway. Sorry, AGL. That's different names that they give to different areas around Birmingham over here. You got the yam yams. Was it Black Country? You got all sorts.
Yeah, it's a common mistake when people hear
Dudley.
when people hear what. Did you ever get Alfie's same pet over there in America? It was
Say that again?
Did you ever get Alfie the same pet? It was a Geordie. No, you wouldn't know. It was a TV program over here, and one of the actors in that played a Brummie. But I'm from Birmingham, and everybody in Birmingham went, "No, that's a Dudley accent. That's Black Country. This is a Birmingham accent. I am born and bred Birmingham." But what everybody understands to be a Birmingham accent isn't. It's actually a Black Country accent, and I'm a snob about it. I have a garage, not a garage. And we do speak better. Don't mean that nastily, because I love all the AIs. I had a mate called Ian. He was an AI, and we spelled his name EYUN because that's how he would pronounce. I'm a yearn.
Back in a second.
So where are you, ATL?
I'm just outside of Atlanta. I'm in Metro Atlanta in Georgia.
Oh, lovely. Not that I know where that is, but I'll go away and look. The geography's awful.
Do you know where New York is?
Roughly.
It's about 11, 12 hours south of there.
I was going to
It's
say,
right-
as far as I know, it's nowhere near. You know.
Yeah, it's just north of Florida.
Yeah.
So you've got the hot weather all the time. You've got the hot weather all the time, have you?
What's that?
You've got the hot weather all the time.
Yeah, it's usually pretty hot here. It's
Yeah, same here.
It's always in the 30s. You know.
Yeah, we're 45 today here.
Yeah, in the summertime we get up towards the 40 range.
Yeah, you can
But,
spot the white boy out here because we jump from shadow to shadow. We literally we try and stay out of the sun at all costs. You know.
Now you see him. Now you don't. Now you see
Yeah.
him. Now you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sweat. And I'm from upstate. I'm from New York. I mean, it's usually cold all the time there.
Yeah.
We have usually about 2 weeks in the summertime where we get to around 25. You know, so it's down here. My wife is from Ecuador, and we moved up. Originally, I had her move up to New York with me, and we moved in during the coldest time of the year. And she's like, "No, I am not living here anymore." And we had 2 feet of snow on the ground. It was in like the middle of almost summer, and we had snow. And she's like, "No, I can't live here." So we ended up moving down, a nice middle path, not all the way south, but Georgia, which still gets cool weather in the winter time.
Yeah.
We might occasionally get some snow flurries in the winter, on a cold winter, but it's mostly just hot. Oh, I can't stand it. I stay in the air conditioning most of the time.
Yeah, that's it. We've got air conditioning on 10 months of the year here. It's air conditioning. It's just on 24/7. Otherwise, you would just burn up.
Yeah, some
If
people
I
live with
turn the AC on now, this room would be about 30 degrees in about 5 minutes.
I'll just go and sit in the fridge.
I'm
6'3". That doesn't work for me.
I was going to say, it doesn't fit in the fridge.
I did try once though, didn't I? When I was under the influence of.
You collapsed into the fridge, yes.
Did it?
As you know, Murph, I use medicinal herbs for me.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now, normally I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Literally, because I don't need the full thing, so I just have the clippings. They're a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Now, this lot that I'd been given had a little bit extra in it, and I didn't notice. So I started to get some leg cramps. And I thought, okay, I need to stop the muscles sort of shivering about now. So I'll have a quick smoke and, it'll calm down in a couple of minutes. But there was too much in it. So I've gone out to the fridge because I was hot, intending to put my head in there to cool myself down. And ended up collapsing and totally whiting out into the fucking fridge.
It was a good job there wasn't a bowl of trifle or anything in there, because it really would,
But this is the dangers when you can't get it on prescription. You've got to go and buy what's out there.
I know. Yeah. You can't control it. There's no controls.
You don't know what you're getting. I mean, that totally threw me because I don't use it for that. I mean,
it's a shame. Usually it was never even an issue with that stuff. It was always a very, reliable kind of a thing to get.
Yeah.
Until
I
recent days.
I don't smoke the actual bud, see.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No. And the other thing is, I don't use king size papers. I don't make big reefers. I just use my normal hand roller. And one of them with just a little bit in is usually enough to stop the trembles in my muscles. And it's worked, and it's the only way I can get to sleep sometimes as well.
It's legal here as long as it's less than 3% in Georgia. But in a lot of states, it's legal or it's decriminalized.
Yeah.
So if you get caught with it, the cop will take it away, but you won't get a ticket or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't get prosecuted for it.
Yeah, it's the same in the UK now, isn't it? It's decriminalised in the UK.
No, not yet. You can still get done for it.
You still get done, can you?
Yeah, a lot of times they'll just give you what they call a police caution and confiscate it, but it is still illegal to have it.
All right. In Thailand, it's free now. They're talking about it in the Philippines as well at the moment.
Well, there's states in America and Canada that have legalized it. The
it's legal in Canada.
Make money from it, a lot of money.
It's very legal in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You could just walk down the street. Well, no, I take that back. Yeah, I don't think you can walk down the street with it. But I think you could actually get arrested if you're smoking outdoors.
Yeah, they have special shops where you can go in and toke or do it at home.
And Canada actually has like bars. I lived in upstate New York for a while, and I used to just drive up there just to visit Toronto and things like that. But they have bars where in order to get into them, you have to bring like marijuana with you. Yeah. It's a special kind of a bar. You're not allowed in unless you bring some in.
Yeah.
You can't buy it there, but you can bring it in.
Bring it in, yeah.
They call them America shops, where you could buy your marijuana up in Canada. America shops.
Yeah, because they're allowed, isn't it, 3 plants a piece for personal use? but they
Yeah,
all
it's
they
something
all
like that.
get together and plant like fields of it and then share it out at the end.
Something like that. I
Yeah.
I really don't know the inner workings.
Yeah,
that
I've,
well.
I've seen some sort of documentaries and that on it, but it's not something that I've really delved into, you know. I
Well,
mean,
I mean,
admittedly, in my younger days, yeah, I used to use it what most people use it for. I make
you
no bones about that, and some other substances which I'm not over proud of. But
well, here in Dubai, I mean, it's a definite no-no. So we don't, you know, you
Yeah.
can get it, but it's more Lebanese. It's more the Lebanese oil, you know, you get that. But I mean, it's just not worth the while doing it because it's a fast track to jail, you know.
Yeah.
But
So
in Dubai, you get the honey, don't you? The what is it called? They actually have the honey where they have the bees making
oh, the
honey off.
hallucinogenic honey.
yeah,
Yeah,
Maluka,
what
isn't
is
it?
it?
Maluka honey.
I forget it. I forget the name because when I was over in the Middle East for a while, they would make the honey from honeybees that harvested from marijuana crops
Yeah.
or opium crops, and you used to be able to buy the honeys from those kind of bees.
You could, yeah, you can buy that. You can get the honey. You can buy the honey and things like that.
There's a video on YouTube somewhere of a bear that had a load of this honey is on the back of somebody's pickup truck, and it's just totally freaked out.
Yeah, and like I say, the alcohol. I mean, I do a live stream every Saturday. And it's called A Beer with Murph, and the police contacted me and they said, "You do a live stream with beer?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "But my channel is registered in the UK." I said, "I'm a UK citizen that's registered in the UK." I said, "So, and you notice I never talk anything bad about Dubai. I never even mentioned Dubai." And they went, "Yeah, no, we've got no problem with it. You carry on." You know.
It just shows how closely you're monitored, doesn't it? You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the amount of
It's-
YouTubers over here that have had their door kicked in while they've been on a live stream because of something that's been said, and you know,
Yeah.
Again, the police have been totally ignoring the orders from their boss, the Home Secretary. She's told them openly, stop policing the woke.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing it. She wants people to trust them again, and then she gives them more powers to stop and search for no reason. And the police just ignore any advice or orders they've been given by the government. They just seem to do what the hell they want.
Do you have officer safety over there?
Officer safety.
In what respect?
Yeah. Well, here, the state is above the people, and the rights of the state are much more important than the rights and safety of the people.
Yeah.
And when a cop says for officer safety, what that allows them to do is violate every single right that you have.
Oh no, we don't
All
have
they
that.
have to
No.
do is say officer safety. Now they're allowed to search you. Now they're allowed to take you out of your car. They're allowed to take you out of your home. They're allowed to handcuff you. They're allowed to put you on the ground. They're allowed to put you in the jail for officer safety. They don't have to explain what that safety is or what the safety threat might be. They just have to say officer safety. Because when that goes to jury, all the bootlickers, you know what bootlickers are, right? The bootlickers are going to hear officer safety and say, all right, well, we're done. He's guilty.
Yeah. No, we don't have that in the UK, no. But
We're supposed to have a jury of our peers. And by the very definition of the word jury of your peers, they're supposed to be your people. And what we're seeing, what we have here in the States is we do not get a jury of our peers. We get a jury of the police's peers.
yes.
Not our peers.
Yeah.
We get
This is the problem.
the peers of the policymakers. You don't get our peers. The bar association, our lawyers, our representatives are not going to pick our peers. They're going to pick the establishment's peers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know.
you
Yeah,
know,
it's
But
It's the world
problem
over,
we've
isn't
got here is the body that oversees the police, the IOPC, is made up mainly of ex-police.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Why was that
introduce
allowed?
I'm going to sign off. Lovely to meet you, ATL. Murph, as always, a big,
Love you. Love you.
big
Well,
pleasure.
See you back.
if you're coming down, babe, I'm going to be shutting the stream down in about 10 minutes anyway. So
I'll be appearing in that chair there very shortly. As if by magic, I'm going to do a Mr. Ben.
Good to
you
see
hear
you.
a
Good
bang,
to see
she's
you.
come
Welcome
down
back.
the stairs
Good
quicker
weekend
than
to
she
everybody. Take care.
Yeah.
Now, is she from the
she's
Benny
upstairs.
Hill
She's
area?
been on her course all week. So
Where's Benny Hill from?
Long gone, dead.
Okay, is that close to where she lives?
No, Benny Hill. No.
no,
It was,
no. Oh Christ, where did Benny Hill come from? Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know where he was from.
no, he was down south, wasn't he? He was down south somewhere.
I'm sure he was. I don't. He wasn't London.
No, it wasn't London, but I think he was further south again.
Southampton. We once.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
someone would know.
I think it was Southampton or
Yeah,
something.
that's,
So I'm
right
right at
there
the
on
far
the
end of
map.
the country. No, nowhere near Birmingham.
We're more or less what they say the dead centre of the country. That's what they call it, the Midlands. Benny Hill was from the south coast, which isn't that far away. Bottom of England, Brian. Yeah,
The bottom of England. Yeah.
next door to Pompey. We're just short of the Isle of Wight.
Well, what brought you out to Dubai?
I ran the Burj Khalifa.
That means
On the-
nothing to me.
I'm the operations director for the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building.
Oh, okay, okay.
I basically run it.
Oh, all right. I have friends that go out there to Dubai and Qatar all the time, and I always try to figure out what the thrill is, or the draw to such a place was. For me, it seems like more of a scary place than a.
I've lost sound. I'll come out and come back in again. Wait.
All right, mate.
Yeah, and for a guy like me, a place like Dubai, Qatar in the Middle East seems kind of like a scary place to go because I'd be so afraid to step out of line by mistake.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, there's a lot of countries in the West that are getting like that now.
Oh yeah.
A lot of countries.
If,
I mean, all through the lockdowns and that, obviously I followed all the protests and sort of helped out there where I could through streams and things. But
When someone rings me, it cuts everything. So I couldn't hear you. You said someone.
well, for someone like me, going to a place like Dubai or Qatar is always like a scary thing because I'm always afraid that I'll step out of line without even knowing it. And I have a lot of friends that go over to these places, but they're from the Middle East. So they have that background. They know the scoop. So and it's natural to them to act that way.
Yeah.
But for a barbarian like me, to go to such a place, I mean, someone from the UK, at least they have a chance because they at least have the structure under control. For someone like me, being a barbarian,
yeah, but
it's not something.
It's one of the things you've got to realise is that the UAE was governed by Britain up till 50 years ago, or 75 years ago. Sorry, so they have got a very British sort of thinking about them. About the way when you're talking to them and talking dialogue. You're from England, yes. Oh, Habibi, they are a friendly people. They're very, very friendly people. So you wouldn't have that problem that you think. A lot of the problems that you think that you'd have, you don't get.
Yeah. And I kind of I went to Amsterdam. I spent some time over there. And when I first went over there, I was timid and I was very afraid. because it's even though it's a different thing, and I ended up in a group of people like from Iran, which was and it was an obvious thing that I was uncomfortable. Because the group of Englishmen sitting around the next couch said, "Oh, look, an American sitting next to an Iranian."
Yeah.
But so they knew that something was going to happen, And I made a fool of myself, not in a obnoxious kind of way or anything like not to make something of it kind of way, but my ignorance was very on display, But I knew that my ignorance, and halfway through the conversation, it's like, look, guys, you were born to this. I was not, and that kind of settled things down quite a bit.
Yeah.
That, at least I had the understanding. I know who you are. I know who I am. So, here we are.
Yeah.
But I'm not an idiot. I might be a
That's- yeah,
barbarian,
exactly,
but I'm
yeah.
not an idiot.
Only an idiot wouldn't see that there is obviously differences, and you adapt to those differences.
Yeah.
And I did. And I went back there quite a few times and spent a lot of time there, and it was fine after a while. But there was that adjustment period. And by going to Dubai, I don't know if I would ever want to go through that adjustment period again. It's a scary thing.
I suppose, look, I when I was in the army, I did a lot of work in the Middle East anyway. So I've got used to it over the years. I'm probably blasé to it now, and it is a case of that. So working here is not, to me, the biggest problem I have working here is the bloody heat. I can get my pork, I can get my beer, I can get my vodka, I can get whatever I want. I can get everything I need. But the biggest thing that I fight every single day is the heat. And now that we're into the 45s and everything else like that, there's very few people out on the streets during the day. So you don't get any, it sort of, it flips. So now if I went out 8 o'clock at night now here, and if I went out now, it would be bloody busy because everyone's out and about now because the temperature's come down. It's about 30 degrees and everyone's out and about doing their stuff. So during the day, you hardly see anyone now. And this is how it works. So if you're going about your business, you don't see anyone because everyone's internal. They're all inside buildings. It's only at night you come out. But again, like I say, it's one of the safest cities in the world to be, Yeah,
and it's the same when actually me and Heather talked about this earlier on today. When I used to go to Sicily again, and it's the same in Italy and a lot of Spain and that as well. The Brits can't get used to the fact that in the afternoon everything goes dead because all the locals know it's the hottest part of the day and they're going to go and sleep it off.
Yeah, and it's the way, and especially during Ramadan, everything flips totally. You don't see anyone at all.
Exactly.
It's one of those things. You know what I mean?
Anyway, guys, that's 5 o'clock, so I'm gonna knock it on the head now.
All right, my man.
It's been absolutely brilliant to see ATL on again. I know he has.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you, my man. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure, mate.
I will hunt out your channel. I'll subscribe.
Thank you.
There is a link in the description under my videos, Murph. I put one in there. I think it's under his old name, but it's still the same link.
Right. Okay. I'm doing a live from 11 tomorrow UK time, so anyone wants to come on and have a beer with Murph, they're more than welcome.
And Murph's links in there as well under Power in the Philippines. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. It's great to be back. I know I've been off for a while with holiday and different other things and bits and pieces going on, but absolute pleasure as always to have you all in there. Everybody that has been or is still on the panel, you guys, absolutely brilliant. That makes the stream for me, being able to talk.
Good to have you back, my man. Good to have you back.
ATL, keep up the good work over there, mate. I do watch. I don't often comment, but when I do, it's because I've got something to say, as you know. But
yeah, I've been taking it easy for a while.
Pleasure to have you on, mate. Absolute pleasure.
And I'll subscribe to you once I come off my van. All right, so see what you're about.
And, if he's actually awake, Pat might be doing a live a little bit later on. He did hint something about it earlier. So keep your eye open for that. But until the next wine time, guys, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay free from the tyranny.
Exactly. Take care. God bless. All right.
Respect
Bye-bye.
you all.